I know you're looking at me. Nice. Yeah. I know you're looking at me. 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 I know you're looking at me.
Hello, welcome to the PUBG Mobile Club Open 2019 Fall Split. We're here today with South Asia. We've got some incredible games ahead of us, but first, we've got our official sponsor for the stream. It is Vivo. Amazing PUBG games need an amazing mobile phone. The Vivo V17 Pro is the official smartphone of PMCO 2019 Fall Split in Nepal, Bangladesh, Pakistan and Sri Lanka.
With multi-turbo acceleration technology, cold start speeds increase 25%, 8 GB of RAM, 128 GB of ROM with dual engine fast charging. The V17 Pro never hesitates.
Not to mention, it feels great in the hand as well. And you know what else is going to feel great in the hand as well today is those M4s as we get down on the ground as we head out of the plane today. So this is going to be a pretty interesting day. From yesterday, we actually had some great games from Group A's and B's. If you missed it, definitely go check out the VOD. It is there on the PUBG Mobile Esports YouTube page, which I assume you are watching on right now, which you can subscribe to and smash that like button too. It's going to be a good day, John, and we had teams like Entity really showing up, but today we've got Group C and D, so we've got fresh 16 teams heading at you, with one team in particular that you might all be familiar with, which is Team Seoul.
Oh, what's that I hear in the distance? That's going to be the call of the stream chat, of course. Everybody super excited to see Team Seoul heading into these groups. They will be playing today. Of course, only 24 teams will be progressing here. We'll be saying goodbye to 8 teams after the group stages, progressing to the semi-finals. Moving on, we'll have 16 there. But within the confines of Team Seoul, we have the man, the myth, the legend. It is, of course, everyone has been waiting for him. It's Mortal. He's going to be taken back once more to the squad.
Retired no longer. But this is very cool. We have a competition system on the screen right now. Obviously, as John just went over, there will be 3 stages here. The group stage has got 24 matches all in all. 4 groups. We saw Group A and B yesterday. C and D today. Top 24 will head over to the semi-finals, and the top 16 duking it out in the regional finals to find who is the best of South Asia. Here's our new ranking system as well when it comes to placements. 20 points for first place, going down to 14 for second, 10, and then so on and so forth until we get to those 11 to 16 points.
Yeah, what we're going to see as well, it's quite interesting, is that certainly yesterday over the games that we saw, it was a little bit more weighted towards those kill points, which I really like. It rewards people playing aggressively and winning as well, it has to be said in that aspect.
And here we have our groups for today, Group C and D. For Group C, we're going to have 8-Bit, Blind, Nepali Ho, SynerGE, and also, actually I believe that's a different team up there. We'll get this right out later. SynerGE, Pain Esports, Reckoning, and Maximus X. And for Group D, Jump,
yeah, we've got Velocity Gaming, Orange Rock, 0 Degree, ElementriX, TrustDProcess. TrustDProcess.
Always.
I think we had Team Seoul, we had 2 others as well.
Yeah, always got to trust the process, man.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, as long as you've got a process, you can get to the end. You just have to trust in it.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, yeah, having Team Seoul with Mortal in there is a bit of an interesting one. Had told people that he was retiring, but I mean, if he wants to show people what's what in the PMCO 2019 Fall Split, no complaints from me.
A couple of the players from Team Seoul last time they split up. They made their own. Team, of course. Xbox from what we saw yesterday. 2 of the players,
Ronak, great job.
Scout brought in.
We got Paratosh on that side.
Brought in Paratosh. formed a very strong squad. They had some decent games yesterday. Seoul, of course, with the previous roster, they topped out the Indian region in the PMC. Obviously, the region's expanded now. We've got a couple more countries involved, so that's great.
Oh,
See it
yeah.
in South Asia.
Yeah,
really happy about that.
What's really cool as well is from wildcard, if you knew from last season, we actually had Nepal in the wildcard, and they've actually now moved over to the South Asian region. So guys get to represent in the South Asian region now too, and we'll be cheering for you guys as we go through these games.
We'll be cheering for everyone. I'm really happy to be getting underway. Of course, the first map, as always, is going to be Erangel for a lot of these teams.
Oh, yeah.
I believe it's
El
the same
Clasico.
map rotation as we had yesterday. So it will be Erangel, followed by Sanhok, then Miramar, then another Erangel to finish us off.
So no Vikendi as of yet, but you will see that as we progress through the group stages. Here is just showing what the unique weapons are, the amount of towns, and how big this map is. This is a relatively medium-sized map compared to Miramar, Sanhok, and Vikendi. But we will see that plane path coming through very shortly. Currently, it is a little bit easterly coming down from the north to the south. So a lot of options here, John. And from yesterday, we saw people were a little bit careful. Georgia Pole was taken. A lot of people going over to Pachinki as well as. And it looked like X-Park were trying to control military base. So that seemed like a place most people were going. And they were pretty successful down there, getting across the bridge too.
The entity that was Seoul in the previous tournament, of course, they were always dropping Rozhok in the global finals. So maybe they're going to be trying to regain that throne. Georgia Pole a little bit less accessible on this plane path. We might see some teams drop onto some of the roads around Severny, maybe around the river as well, try and get into some of those vehicles and get it done that way over towards Georgia Pole, either north or south. Yasnaya, very much available. Kameshki actually is reasonably achievable here, so it looks like we've got a team headed that way as well. Military base, maybe a little bit risky. It is very late in the plane path. It's very close, so you can drop relatively quickly. But you don't have too much time. With the size of the circles, however, you can pretty much go anywhere. Milta, very available as well, but over towards Quarry, probably the least accessible part of the map.
Absolutely, John. And like you said before, Rozhok for Team Seoul looks like they are heading on over that way after all. If you're wondering who the additional members are to Team Seoul at the moment, or at least the members who have been replaced, Ronak and Awais, obviously Viper and Mortal remained in the team, but now we also have Frost and Regal joining them on side.
Yeah, unfortunately, one of them didn't connect to the games. They are playing as a three-man squad for now, but, you know, they're the champs.
They're the champs. They'll do it. They'll go right ahead with it. So, I mean, this is the three-man squad. This is kind of like solo squadding at home, but
Yeah.
we'll see if what Team Seoul can actually do. 3 members is going to be a little bit tricky, especially on Erangel. Not as easy to work with as it would be on Sanhok,
Yeah.
where you don't need as many members to operate within those confined spaces.
Yeah, you can see that the circle just popping up now, of course, northwest. Pretty heavy shift, actually, for teams playing in Milta. 2 teams actually dropped in Novo, so a little bit of a fight going on that way. One of the teams hasn't actually fully landed as well. Those rotations will come in. Everybody who made that early way towards Georgia Pole will be rewarded, but you can see already there's a scuffle over in Novo. There's 3 teams there.
Yeah, there's a lot of teams all battling this out right now, and they're going to try and claim this space. From what we saw yesterday, it seemed that most of the time 2 teams will stay and 1 team tends to bug out. So we'll see if some of these guys are a little bit braver and want to stick around for those firefights in the end, try and get a third party through. Obviously, people are a little bit underlooted in the beginning, so it really depends what kind of loot you drop down onto. Omega over here already taking a little bit of shots, and it will be blinding across. Nick already taking a lot of shots, though. This is not good for the team from Kerala.
Yeah, Blind and Maximus X following up with TrustDProcess, all vying for Novo. This is quite interesting. Nobody actually dropped over towards military base. Everybody opting to go for these crates instead. I would have thought, you know, you look around you check it out, you see no one else going to military. It's great loot there. You've got C block completely uncontested. You've got a lot to do. And no one else was contesting for it, as I said. So maybe it would be wiser for one of these teams just to dip out, to just decommit from it, because you can run over there. You can just move. Even if you can't reach there on the parachute, you've got some time. You will be able to get those vehicles. The tricky bit, of course, will be watching for the cross over the bridge, but even this early in the game, you should be able to razz it through, and everyone's going to be moving up to that circle anyway.
Yeah, so it makes it a little bit less dangerous for these teams, would you say, having to come from military, because most teams would be preparing to make that move up towards Rozhok, towards Georgia Pole. Currently, we're just watching the teams have a little bit of a loot down. It looks like Blind and MSX are giving each other a wide berth right now. They don't want to take the fight right now. They know that things can go very, very sour very quickly in Novo here, because obviously what can happen is with the TPP, we saw it yesterday, you can lob some grenades and force people out from these corners and then just absolutely spray them down. So this, in my opinion, is pretty smart. You both get generally quite large looting zones to yourselves, even with 2 players there, and it can absolutely sustain them.
Just taking a look at the circle at the moment, of course, just actually southeast of Rozhok Seoul, they have been zoned a little bit away by SynerGE Retribution in Rozhok itself, and they're not going to be able to claim that one just yet. Of course, Team RG a little bit closer next to them, just to the west, near ruins, in between there. One team North George, one team South George as well. The Kameshki squad hasn't moved just yet, but they've got plenty of time to do so. Everybody in the southeast corner, though, they're the ones in danger. They're all going to have to be rotating relatively parallel, and at the moment, we're seeing one team is split up. That's VLT. They need to make a little bit of a move away from that mansion or away from the bunker to try and meet each other up, but there's 2 teams very close to them who could prove to be a spanner in the works.
Yeah, because you can be sure, as we saw when this circle popped on the western side, that people will be knowing to kind of edge guard this eastern side as well, especially because people will start to move away from Rozhok, will start to move towards this eastern side or towards Gatka and towards the fields area. So anyone on this eastern side right now, they've got to be careful. Who makes the first move, or do you wait until someone's gone through and already taken the brunt of that edge guarding for you and then move afterwards? Like you say though, VLT being a little bit split, it does leave them open to actually just been taken down whilst they're out there outside of the circle, but we'll have to see what happens. What I'm most interested is this squad up in Kamishki. This is a long route they have to take down for themselves. They could potentially go through Yasnaya, but there's already a team occupying there, and they can quite happily wait in those compounds inside Yasnaya, and with the third person, they could very easily see this squad coming down from Kameshki.
Yeah, they might just be able to do so. GamingHub are making that southward rotation from Kameshki, so we'll see if they actually hit up what looks to be potentially Lipovka. Maybe they're trying to just skirt around Yasnaya for now, which, to be fair, isn't the worst idea.
Yeah.
What I would probably recommend for them is actually to try and take control of the north. Although, to be fair, with the plane path, it's highly likely that people could have dropped on that northern bank, so maybe they don't really want to go for that. But they don't have that information. At the moment, though, one of the players from the team in Lipovka is going to move on up and see if they can find that one out. Everybody now starting to make that eastward rotation as everyone's exiting Novo as well. You can see this on your screens at the moment. As TrustDProcess are the first to try and cross the bridge. Looks like they are going to be able to get away with it as well.
They're going to get right across there. They trust the process, you know, like they waited, they were calm about it, crossed the bridge, easy peasy. Now, for ElementriX down here on the southern side of the circle, they are currently in Primorska by the docks. They'll have a pretty clean and easy route through Gatka. Obviously, they've got cross the fields there, where visibility becomes a little bit easier for teams to spot them as they're making that cross. They probably want to get themselves some vehicles and kind of razz it up through past Gatka towards Georgiapol on the south side there, towards the coast. VLT, they have got their vehicles in tow right now, so they will be beginning to regroup as we can see them just coming under the side of Severny and shooting range right now.
An interesting position coming out from Team RG at the moment. They left 3 people on the south bank near ruins. They sent a scout up north in the form of Dond to try and see if they can have a little bit of a foothold on the northern side of the bank. This is a pretty decent position when it comes to this sort of circle, because it's split right down the middle by the river. You don't know where you're going to have to rotate, and having someone already ahead of you in the game there, that is phenomenally useful. So I'm really happy that they've tried to do that, although it is potentially a little bit early for my liking to try and hedge your bets like that.
I think so as well, John. I think what we saw from yesterday, at least from the very beginning stages of the days, what we saw is that if you try and commit to a compound or a city too early, what often happens, and like you say many times, John, it becomes very difficult to remove yourself from that area to kind of evacuate, because teams will have a bead on you. ElementriX now actually making the long cross. They are speedily making their way up towards South George. Currently, Seoul is still in it, though. I've made a pretty decent path, but they will be coming into contact with VLT very soon. No doubt they will hear those vehicles coming over the top side. GamingHub was spotted out by SGE, so it looks like they've just left them too, but SynerGE, they're actually all the way over in Lipovka, as you can see on your screen right now. That was a save!
All right.
He saved him! That was excellent. I'm actually very impressed.
Team RG have actually regrouped now, so they've moved their scout from the northern bank back down south. Seoul, they've made the cross. They are now on the northern side as well, as teams start to coalesce into those sides of the map. At the moment, we're only seeing 4 teams north of that river. No one else quite yet made the cross, but there's still teams on Military Island. There's still 2 teams down there, down on South, so they will have to make that rotation pretty sharpish. 8-bit, they've been pretty sedentary for the majority of this game so far, and they're going to be pretty happy with that. It's nice to see a lot of these teams making smart rotations this early on.
Yeah, it really is. I think we saw, it's very crazy to see as well, like seeing the differences in regions. A lot of people think that PUBG is a very standard game and that not much changes from region to region, but we saw Europe yesterday completely different to South Asia. South Asia very calculated, very calm, whereas Europe has some of those high top fraggers, but a little bit more aggressive. We're seeing kills in the first couple of minutes, where we're seeing, like I said, a little bit more collected players here in South Asia, playing much more cautiously, and I've really been impressed. Well, there's the boy. It's him himself. It's Mortal. Check him out. Using the TPP to his advantage, waiting for these players to come down the roads, because that's where they'll be most visible. And you know this boy's got one hell of a spray on him.
He's going to inflict his namesake on anyone who dares cross his path. We'll have to see just where they're going to be able to finish, but the circle has popped. It's a little bit further north of the river now, so anyone who did cross early is going to be pretty happy with this shift. It still can go back down south. It still could potentially even end on somewhere like Rozhok or around that sort of area. Do you know where I'd love to see it finish? A shooting range. I would love to see a shooting range finish.
Yeah.
That would be super exciting.
Shooting range is a really, really exciting place to go, because obviously as you get crunched further into shooting range, there could be some teams who hide on the sides where you can actually get the drop on teams because they're inside the dip area. But also, there's so much crazy cover available to them. I wouldn't want to catch myself down the shooting range. I'd probably place myself towards the back, where I literally have a place to just stock up, whack the gun down, and flip out the stools on it.
SynerGE able to get out, and they're actually relatively close to the next zone, but they do have GamingHub, to contend with on that rotation on the northern side of the lake near Yasnaya.
Not a single player gone down as of yet, John. So this is pretty crazy as we're coming into towards our last phases right now. No team has a single kill, very cautious of each other. What I'm most interested in, you can't see it quite on the map yet, but Polyana has just had about 1,000 teams coming in. 8-bit is making a long rotation on the western side by the coast, so they're going to get a wraparound into George. And depending on what happens and where the circle actually ends up, they could have a really good position here, but they are entering a city very, very early, John.
Yeah, they're going to be making the rotation across the western bridge of the estuary, just inside of Georgia Pole. They do have Pain to contend with on the other side of the river, but should be able to just get it across pretty quickly and actually take a dominant controlling position over on the northern side. 8-bit was a team that we were very happy with their rotations last season, coming in from the Indian region as it was then. Of course, now coming to the South Asian region, they are going to try and make some similarly smart rotations, and it seems like they're going to do just that. The circle isn't pushing them in just yet, and they've got a nice plan.
As you can see on your screen right now, we do have the map up for you. ElementriX taking a very strong position up there on Everest. They are completely got it combed, so they're prepared for anyone trying to take it afterwards. We will be seeing down the bottom MSX just making their way into the circle, and obviously Blind have made a really long wraparound there from Novo, trying to get back in through Pachinki.
There's quite a lot of teams hovering around just on the northern shore from Rozhok. You can see there's 4 squads there, all stacked up. That's Team RG, SynerGE, HYDRA, and I think that's which team is that? I can't even see which team that is.
Completely blocked.
But there's 4 teams all grouped up in the same position there. Maybe having a little bit of a fight. But over on the southern side, as you can see on your screens at the moment, there still are 2 teams. There's the shift. It's heavy south. So everyone who moved north now is going to be unhappy. So it goes back and forth.
So 8-bit, they took the risk there. It's not paid off for them, and now they're going to have to struggle coming down through shooting range. And like you're saying before, so many teams on the northern side. If 8-bit don't make a quick rotation now, they could be very much caught out as they try and make it back in the circle, whereas all the other teams have already secured themselves some very safe compounds.
TrustDProcess is going to be pretty happy, though. They've already got themselves a nice little spot, and everyone's evacuated from near ruins.
I'm really happy with how Blind have actually made this rotation here. I think what they've done is they've made sure that no other teams are around them. They've got the circle to the back of them, which means that they're going to be very safe coming to this basically southeasterly side of the circle, and they'll be able to just control that space. That's what they're going to do. Blind currently going for a little bit of scout, waiting for his team waiting in the wings in the blue there. But look at this. All these teams on the top right-hand side of the blue as it's coming down, all circling down to the southeast. Blind could be at a bit of a pickle very, very soon.
They are starting to make those rotations, though. Everyone is moving around the eastern side. Roshok is going to be a hot spot. A lot of teams condensing over there. See 8-Bit making that rotation as well. They've already made their way down across the river yet again. They are going to be crashing, though, into what could be...
0°. Now coming up on blind now, though, John. This is the scary thing for them. Now the shots are starting to fly. You can hear them off in the distance. Teams have spotted one another, and you'd be surprised if they're not. There's probably 16 teams all in this one circle right now, John.
Yeah, they're going to be all starting to crunch in together. You can see Seoul, they're spiking out of this compound. They found this compound relatively early on. They're in one of the few that are still on the northern bank as well, which means they're going to be relatively uncontested.
Really good sightlines from it too.
No one's going to make the move across the river towards them. So if they can get across as well, they're very near a bridge, so they might be able to do it. That's going to work out pretty well for them. So a nice spot for them.
We see SynerGE trying to crash the compound. Pain takes a lot of pain to the head right there. Does keep his helmet, which is pretty critical for him to survive in this next fight. First aid kits galore ready for him. Got 2 in the bag, so he should be okay. But SynerGE so far doing a pretty good job to keep them suppressed whilst they do res one of their players up. One player has actually finally gone down. Didn't quite catch that one.
Yeah, it's finally a kill coming on board. Blind taking a little bit of a fight. Seeing what they can get done as everyone starts to move on through. 8-Bit, they're making these wide, long rotations, and again, they found themselves a safe path to go in towards just south of Ruins. They're going to be coming up against TrustDProcess when they go for the fight. Let's see what they can get. This is a little bit of a dodgy pincer for SGE coming in. They have players at the back of them, but they are just going to sail on by. So now they can focus back towards the fray against Pain.
So far, John, SynerGE have come into quite the firefight themselves. They've got pretty decent cover here where they can move backwards and forwards, but like you say, they've had to be careful there. Per circle pops, they are still in it, and they have a pretty decent position. What they're going to have to be careful of, though, is ElementriX coming down from Everest there. They will have high ground advantage, where they'll be able to watch down on these players from below, scout the area. If one of them's got a sniper, they'll be very, very sure to know where everyone is located. And information, absolutely huge in this game.
Wow.
If you inquire that early for the circle, it's going to be really good. So much water in this final circle, though, John. So there is limited land here, and wherever the circle pops next, there's potential for a lot of swimming, a lot of these players to get very, very soggy very quickly.
The most impactful part of the circle is probably not the fact that there's a load of water in there, although that does play a huge factor, Blank, but the fact that the land is divided so heavily by it. Crossing the water is essentially a death sentence. If you don't have the appropriate cover, if you don't have the right nade, the right position for the rest of your team, it's going to get so tricky, and it's going to be very hairy as everyone starts to crash down on the southern bank.
8-Bit, despite taking that long rotation to the north-hand side, they've already just swung themselves like a yo-yo down to the south side, but they are fighting a lot of teams currently. They've got 2 teams either side of them. Blind has scattered them out. Blind seems to be just having basically Xperia be that bit of the scout right now, which is absolutely fine, and he's going to find out what's going on. But he is really like razzing it through right now. Is he looking for a compound?
I'm going to be able to try and find something. At the moment, though, it looks like Orange Rock, actually, who were the previous roster for Indian Tigers, coming in, of course, qualifying for those global prelims. They are going to be holding the pretty decent spot out of Ruins on that southern bank, so they have got a nice place to work with, but making this rotation now, everyone goes into the circle, and it's crunch time over in Sunken City as well.
0°. Although not in the circle, John, I've been picking up a couple of kills here and there, a couple of knocks, so they've been doing a very good job to guard this as the players have tried to make it into the circle on the southwestern side of the map. Really I think GamingHub, sure, they've got a good position here on the northern side, but it could change at any moment, like you say, John, because we can go to one of 3 spaces when this final circle comes through.
It's going to be pretty tricky. 8-Bit, again, playing edge game. Brilliant stuff coming out from them. They're playing soft edge, which means, of course, that you're sort of playing towards the edge of the next circle, about halfway between you and the next rotation. It's quite tricky sometimes if there's a hard shift that can really play to your detriment, but if you haven't already got a foothold in such a dangerous circle, it's probably the best strategy you can employ in terms of maximizing your chances.
Assassin there with M24, that's going to be pretty dangerous later on. Blind will be going out in 16th place. That's unfortunate for them. Surely we'll see them again in match 2, though. SynerGE, they have spent a lot of time in this position. It seems like they're just very, very unwilling to move. But now they've got a couple of teams around them. ElementriX there have made their way down the mountain. They absolutely have to know where this team is. Must have seen them.
Oh dear. 8-Bit finally coming a cropper. on the rock that is Seoul.
Poo-poo man in the car, just moving it away. Don't touch my wheels, mate.
Oh dear, what a name.
Perfect.
What a name.
Absolutely perfect.
Yeah.
You know, what I'm hoping is if there's a lot of water here, I hope that he's able to flush away the rest of the teams, to be honest with you, and when he does finally make his way in. But this is a lot of teams, 15 currently, 54 remaining as well. So there is a lot of teams available. That is a brutal circle.
That is
for match
just
one,
horrible.
Group C and D, they were watching the games yesterday. They were praying for good circles, and it looks like the gods have not responded in kind.
Seoul picking up 2 kills. They will be able to take down 8-Bit, who were eliminated now in 15th. Unfortunately, that soft edge not working out for them as they made that northward rotation a little bit too overzealously. But there's very little cover. There's one building on the northern side of the river, so anyone who is over there, they are going to be trying to vie for that. That's GamingHub, that's Seoul, looking for that house potentially. There's 2 loot crates in this next circle as well that still have yet to be claimed. It looks like GamingHub are going to go for one. Mortal already making the rush over towards that building, so they will have a foothold. They're still rolling with 3. They started with 3. They still got them all.
8-Bit made 2 risky rotations there. Both didn't pay off in the end, and they will go out in 15th place. Only 1 point awarded them for placement points, so I'm not happy with that, despite getting to one of the very last circles here. ElementriX currently just going from hardcover to hardcover, staying nice and safe. 0 Degree still kicking as well. All the kills coming through now, and you've got to expect it, John. And look at this, you've got Team RG right in the middle. This, like you said, you get in the water, things do not go well for you.
Especially with an overlook like Orange Rock have currently. A team that, of course, has so much prestige in this region. Well, the roster does anyway. They changed their team name, but they're going to get shot down by HYDRA trying to pick up a couple of kills, unfortunately. But HYDRA have a fight of their own to contend with. This is going to be a brutal circle. The players are dropping left and right now, Blank.
Yeah, Orange Rock currently in the high tower.
They might have to move on the next circle, though.
Potentially, they might not be able to stay there for too long at all. And really, it's still a good position for them because they can actually rack up quite a few kills, but you want to get those 20 points, those 14 points for second place. What a spray from the boy on top. Perfectly positioned in the prone. There's no way you're hitting that. You're basically just clipping the top of the helmet.
HYDRA losing yet another player. It's just one left standing. He's managed to get the first aid off, but there's no way he's going to be able to push through. Just has to try and out-heal the zone. Not going to be able to last too long, so they're pretty much down and out of it. Seoul, they have control of the northern bank as well. GamingHub have a position around the bridge that still remains from the northern side as everyone continues to get crunched on forwards. From that southern bank, it's so difficult for anyone to find an opening. Everybody's just getting pelted away. Team RG, they've managed to actually get across, and fair play to him. Nicely done.
HYDRA, despite all the water around them, is not going to get very much done here. MSX having a bit of a kettle war from the teams all across the way, seeing who can create the most mist, most steam. Orange Rock still quite happy here, but at some point, like you say, John, they will have to move. And coming down from this hill, they are going to be a massive target. Most teams will know where they are after they've been giving them such a hard time. Christ alive! Look at that yoink! Absolutely down to the bottom left there. That's not good for business at all.
What a circle to kick us off here, Blank, for these two groups.
He's right on top of him! Of course
Phenomenal
he's saying
stuff.
him, bashing what you're playing at, mate. Kill some, trying to go some kills. He's in the pajamas. He's put to sleep, son.
He's going to go Betty buys, unfortunately for him, but the rest of Pain are still live and kicking. They're still going to try and push in, but the damage is done already by Zed. They are just going to occupy the same building for now, but there's so many teams around, they can't hang about. They do need to try and push in and get a little bit of respite, get a little bit of safety, heal up, get a little bit of loot, and try and get position for the next circle, which is, again, really, really tricky. Seoul have already made that rotation. You can see Regaltos has started to make the cross. He's going to be the foothold that they need to try and get across the river with the rest of the squad, as everybody else is starting to move on forwards, and he pops out the water, immediately takes a kill.
Here comes the nade though, John. They're waiting for it. This is a risky one. Drops out the door. Actually does pick him up, but it's Viper. On the backside, it's not Cold Blood at all who takes that, but he will take the fight anyway. It's just now Red. He's trying to stay alive in this fight. God is pretty much dead here. Goddess Tots. Not good for business whatsoever. Viper's still going.
Whoever takes control of this set of buildings has huge strength into this circle. It's the only cover available.
Yeah.
And with the shoreline so dominant as a feature, it's going to be really tricky. Seoul, though, they're on the northern side. They have now managed to make their way into this next circle as well. GamingHub, they're in the water. They're swimming across. And they're trying to get a little bit of zone as well for themselves. 20 players alive now, blank 9 teams.
Red, dismayed, will crawl away. Looks like Orange, like I said, coming down that hill proves very, very difficult. Only Sandu will make the crossing. MSX, the dude, though, also down there as well. Sandu just desperately trying to get through. Coldblood looking for the shots, not quite finding them. He will spot the dude, though, on the high ground. Soul in a bit of a firefight themselves with the players in the water. Mortal is down, as is Viper, I believe.
Yeah, not looking too good for now for them. One player still alive, it's Regaltos.
So many players with so many teams with very little players on board right now. Pain Esports doing an excellent job with 3 players alive. Unfortunately, a deal will drown. Pressure a little bit too much for them. Mortal, Viper also out.
Mortal out.
And Regaltos done as well. That will be 8th place going to Team Soul.
They are going to go down, unfortunately. It was a very tricky rotation. This circle is so brutal. At the moment, though, it looks like Pain have still got dominance of the compound that they've been fighting for.
It's a savage way to start a game.
Might be able to get there. RG still with a horse in the race, but they do get spotted out in the river. Not going to last too long, I'm pretty sure. So it looks like GamingHub actually drawing a lot of fire. MSX, they have a lot of damage being sent their way as well. That should be a kill being picked up. 10 players now alive as we get down to the final set.
0 degrees. Still going, though. Red, although he did crawl away from that one, he's still putting the Pain onto Pain. MSX have split up, though. 2 players in the circle. Looks like what they're going to go for is position and placement. I mean, 20 points and 14, nothing to scoff at. 10 points for 3rd place as well, John. That can go a long way to keeping you on the scoreboard. Pain now going to make the move. They are one of the only teams with 3 players still alive other than Pain Esports. Sorry, Pain are the Pain Esports, what am I on about? MSX still making their way in. Everyone's just dropping the gear right now. They are going for the snakes, and to be fair, here with so much like very rough terrain, you can definitely go for it. GamingHub finally going down. 4 teams now remaining. MSX pretty much just looking to try to get one of those top 3 spots. Poo Poo Man taking control of the ridgeline.
Goodness me. What I can't get over that, Dave.
He's spreading himself all over that ridgeline.
Yeah.
Making sure it's all covered, all locked down.
Just covering it everywhere.
Yeah.
Making sure that his team has the
upper hand.
The upper hand.
When it comes to recall spread. Viper now. How many grenades does Viper have? Has his team just been like lobbing all his grenades over to him? Look, take them all. You could be our explosives guy, all right?
Absolutely.
Red
well,
finally down. Now, for only 3 places remaining here. Pain in a really, really good spot to take it. Like I said, John, they are pretty much the only cover. Evoke actually going to make a cheeky little rotation here through the house, through the blue, back again. Not sure what he wants to do.
He wants to get out, I think. That's what he wants to do.
How do I get out? All the windows are boarded up. Who would do this?
Who would do this to me? So rude. But they're going to have plenty of meds. Pain, as I said, they have control of this compound, and it is the dominant force in this next circle.
Yeah.
Of course, everyone is going to be crunched.
Oh, Mr. Hyoju, that is a risky run you're making.
Next time around, but now all of a sudden, ElementriX, they've just been gifted a great circle.
Oh, Poo Poo Man, go! Yes, son. Gets a lot of shots in there, but now we'll have to change positioning. But this ridgeline, so strong, and in comes the nades. Viper's been throwing about a million grenades now. He's got to be out of them. There's only so many he can hold on the belt.
Not too many boosters now for Mr. Hyozu. Has to just
M29 though in the pocket.
Yeah, he does have it in the back pocket. M249 is so capable of just rattling off all those shots.
Oh, look at that! That's what we're talking about.
There we go. ElementriX now starting to lay down the pain. Managed to land the shot. See what else they can get done. That's the DP on the back of Mr. Hyozu.
This guy is just running some of the most OP spray guns in the game, mate.
He's a gunner through and through, isn't
yeah, he's got it on lockdown. ElementriX have made some really good rotations this whole game, and now in this last circle, MSX just desperately hanging on for dear life. The dude, though, he could really be a thorn in the side for Pain here.
Might be able to, get a rug, something like that, lay it out.
Perhaps.
Go bowling.
You've got to crawl in. You can't stay there.
You can't.
Look,
You better do. You've got to what? Get in. No, okay, fair enough. It looks like he is gonna.
He's
pretty
alive
low, but
still.
Superman goes down, finally taken out by the Zoma. In comes
Oh
the spray,
my
Mr.
Lord.
Yozo with the
Yozo.
M249, sorry. They're able to claim it, pull it down, and fantastic turn up for the books for them. ElementriX takes the first.
All I'm saying, it was just elementary for them. It was so easy. Controlled that ridgeline perfectly. M249, I'm going to say it did come in handy, but the spray control on Mr. Hyozu, like an absolute samurai, just looking down the iron sights. He basically, I think it was a Vogue who got sprayed down in under a second there.
Yeah.
As he literally came up, went for a run, and he was just dead.
You see, people use the DP28 for long range or for mid range spray for suppressing fire. I've called it, but I've said this before, and I've called it a budget M249, and that's for a reason. The M249 does so much damage, it has such great accuracy when you control its spray, and it's almost unbeatable in terms of its DPS. You can manage to lay your hands on one because they only come in those loot crates as well. It's a similar value, I would say, to an Orb in the right hands. Obviously, Mr. Hyozu, he's got golden hands, and they are going to be able to light up the path for them to take the victory.
Absolutely. He really paved the way forward for them now on the ridgeline. Mr. Poo Man doing an excellent job to keep them nice and supported there. I think that really for me, this extended fight for pain with SGE, because SynerGE just wouldn't move. They were just like a rock, staying still pretty much all the game in that position on that ridgeline. Once they got it down, that's just where they wanted to stay. And it caused little problems for pain. Sure, they held the only compound in the last circle, but like you're saying as well, John, they wanted to get out of there. You saw Evoke looking, I think it was Viper looking for a way out, looking to rotate on the left-hand side, but he just couldn't make it.
Yeah, it was unfortunate for them to try and get that. As I said, the compound was great until they had to move away. You see it time and time again, leaving those compounds really very treacherous. The circle favoring, of course, ElementriX greatly in the final shift. Finally, they got a little bit of respite. But that was, honestly, the circles that game were absolutely crazy. Constantly divided by water. Everybody had to make those decisions. The first ones really to be so indecisive about it, 8-bit. They were going north-south, north-south, north-south.
They're all over the shop, weren't they?
Finally got taken down by Soul on one of those rotations, who did pretty well, actually, all things considered, to try and actually get across and get up to 8th position. But unfortunately, they didn't get that limit.
No, sadly. I think what's very interesting, though, is the fact that we had 63 players, which is actually the entire lobby, because we were -1 player from the Soul squad from the beginning of the game. They made it all the way to around Phase 4, Phase 5, and no one had died. So what we saw yesterday from South Asia was some very smart rotations. It looks like we're seeing the same here. So all these players obviously been scrimming with each other, obviously been preparing for the PMCO tournament, a very prestigious event, and they all want to perform very well in it. And so far, all I'm seeing is some spectacular plays from the South Asian region. Really impressive. And especially to come into the very first match of the day and perform like that. Wow, that is very cool to see.
Yeah, although the kill counts were pretty evenly spread across a lot of these teams. No one had a super standout game coming through. But in comes the scoreboard. ElementriX at 28, a nice chicken dinner victory.
Yeah, 28 points, 8 points ahead of Pain, coming with 20.0 degree. Actually did a really good job when it comes to kills. Obviously only got that 8 points for placements, but 15 points total. MSX making it all the way to the top 3rd spot. We'll get that 10 points for that one with a 13 of total. 12 for GamingHub. Orange Rock actually doing insanely well with 9 kills, 12 points total. Reckoning Esports 8, Soul in 8 as well, and they will be just the bottom of the very first scoreboard.
Orange Rock actually coming out in 9th there, but the kill count just racking up for them. Highest kills in the game, so they did really well over in that Ruins position. Nicely done for them, but they aren't going to be topping it out just yet.
When they had to leave, it was pretty much all over, because walking down from that sheer cliffside, it's just not fun for you whatsoever, is it?
No.
So they come down, everyone spots them, they know where they've been the whole game, they've been really harassing basically everyone. But we are going to go to a quick break now. Don't go anywhere, because we'll see you again for match number 2, which will be Sanhok. Like it is just posturing for the time being.
Yeah, the reason
Now
this
comes
is...
a vehicle. He's going.
Oh yeah, Scout is almost certainly done. The tyre pops on that. The rest of the team can just volley in. Ooh. Easy pickups there. Scout's going to go down. The reason that Tempest can hold on this side of the bank is that his team is at his back. If anyone tries to challenge him from the other side. Ronak is trying to get the cover down onto the back line, but it's still Neo. taking the fight. Oh dear, Paratosh falls, and now it's just Ronak, and that might eliminate them from trying to be able to zone away Neo, but Neo goes to the shoot.
Versus Mega X and also Salty Sword. And Jonathan been spot out like that. This might be the end for Entity's run here on map 2. That's it. But Godlike are trying to set themselves up for second place. Neo will take him out though. Looking for the finish, get that 15 pointers in there.
It's gotten very low. I don't think Mafia can get res here. Only has the bandage, remember. If he gets it, he's going to steal it! You cheeky blighter!
Player. Refresh does not come through. Cash is just moving out there.
Oh dear.
Oh no, go on. The whole team down.
He's going for another one. He's got AJ at his back, and that's immediately INS going away. Say bye-bye. They're not going to be happy with that sort of paradise.
PUBG Mobile Team Deathmatch. Anytime, anywhere. There is a better choice. PUBG Mobile Team Deathmatch. A quick game for those short breaks. There is a better choice.
Hello everybody, welcome back to the PUBG Mobile Club Open 2019 Fall Split for South Asia. Our fantastic sponsor for the show is Vivo. If you're ready to beat out anyone on the battleground, it's time for uninterrupted gaming. With a fully loaded Vivo C1X. And obviously you will get uninterrupted vocal cords as well. That would be great.
Well, you're getting right now. Play PUBG with a 22.5 watt Vivo flash charger, Qualcomm Snapdragon 712, and of course a 4,500 milliamp hour battery brings you a more immersive experience.
So if you want those glorious chicken dinners, get yourself from the phones and grab on side. Also, if you want to catch some more of the South Asia and other regions, you can subscribe to the PUBG Mobile Esports channel, probably the one you're watching right now. And if you want to play some PUBG Mobile yourself, you can download the game on the Google Play App Store as well as the iOS App Store as well to get some fantastic chicken dinners out of the way, just like the one we just saw from ElementriX, who had some excellent rotations coming down from Everest.
Yeah, they had a decent spot into that final circle. Of course, it did go their way at the end. Really nice to see that happen as well. Of course, the circle did favor them. The compound being dominated by Pain, but in the end, it was the circle that drew them out of the compound. And as I said time and time again, leaving a compound, leaving a settlement, always very difficult.
Very, very difficult indeed. Mr. Pupuman providing such good cover for Mr. Hyozu. I think this was probably the best thing for me, was just that harmony between the two players. You saw Mr. Pupuman laying down the suppressive fire. Mr. Hyozu just taking the off angle with the M249, which just completely shredded Pain apart and allowed them to take that chicken dinner. Obviously, Pain in a good spot though. You saw those total scoreboard from the last game. And if you didn't, it is ElementriX up there with 28 points currently, and Pain not far behind with a total of 20.
Yeah, they did very, very well, of course. Everybody going to be pretty happy with that. You're probably going to be looking to try and achieve around a 15-point average if you want to be towards the top of those tables. But in general, as long as you get more than 10 points a game, you should be safe from elimination when you move moving forwards into the semifinals. Because remember, only 16 teams going home out of these... sorry, not 16 teams. 8 teams going home out of these 32 that we have in these groups for now.
So really all you need to do is bear in mind that you probably need around about in that top 8th position, as well as 5 kills per game. So not the tallest task, but versus some of the best teams in the South Asian region, that becomes much, much harder. Here we go. We're going to drop into Sanhok now for our match number 2 with Group C and D. As we can see the playing path coming over from the northwestern side, coming all the way down to the southwest. What kind of options are we going to see here, John?
Honestly, Sanhok's so small, so close together that no matter what the playing path, normally you're going to get an availability to go pretty much anywhere, especially with a playing path like this. Nowhere is off limits for pretty much anyone. The only time you really see things not quite go like that is if it's a super heavily sided plane. Maybe if it's sort of, super northern, then maybe you won't get people going to Tambang or Bantai.
That's a scary parachute, isn't it?
What's going on? Oh god, look at that. Yeah, no.
Terrifying.
There we go. But teams dropping around, trying to find their spots as everybody going to isolate themselves. Looks like 3 teams going pretty close to boot camp there. We'll see who's going to be able to win it out.
Also looks like 8-Bit have pretty much secured Paradise Resort to themselves. Yeah. Circle, very forgiving also. Pretty much all the map encumbered there. And really, teams off in the northwest side of the map, they can quite easily make their way down. Here we can see boot camp once again, the point of so much contestation. You see it in your own games at home as well. You drop here, you are almost certainly going to get fired upon.
Yeah, Orange Rock fighting off against TrustDProcess. There's a team over in Lobster Building in the center of boot camp as well. So it's going to be pretty tricky to take this fight. Sandu actually in a relatively decent position. The high wall on his right is going to protect him from the covering fire from the team in the middle, so they can take this fight relatively protected from from Blind.
And Carrier bring up the rear as well, but it looks like TrustDProcess actually know what's going on here. Marvi has entered the building. Blind on the side. Look at this. Excellent
They can
use.
see his feet there.
Yeah. He's going to take off the toes there. Got to be painful. Not sure it's going to kill him, though.
You can do a lot of damage. If you don't realize it in time and the spray connects, then you know it's about 5 or 6 shots that need to land, and then you're going to go down. So you have to see what they're able to do. But they do fall back. They give ground. Decent strategy. You don't want to be taking a fight this early.
Blind. Off in Lobster, like you're saying, John. They're going to control that for the time being. You've got X-Spain in the back, holding down the warehouses. And Psycho currently just being the scout here. He is the sniper for the team. For the 2 assaulters currently in Lobster, so they'll be their front guard, essentially. TrustDProcess basically on a little marathon of themselves. Looking like they want to get their steps in today, get that 10,000 done, keep them healthy as they basically run around the entire exterior of boot camp.
These teams in boot camp do want to get a little bit of a hurry on, because you've got Nepali Ho over on the opposite bank, over on the northwestern island, and just the standard crossing is to swim across and get a little bit of an overlook over that boot camp position. So if you're still fighting when that team comes to crash, that's going to be pretty difficult for you. You've got Pain as well to think about, who are over on the other side, a little bit further south this time around, but they are still there. They can still make that swap up. Only one team went over to Painan. No one getting opposing banks, so nicely done for SynerGE. They should be pretty happy with that one. Seoul over towards Quarry, just on the western side of it as well. HYDRA just on the eastern side, as everybody starting to think about where they might want to be for the next circle, because this first circle is very, very forgiving, especially over on Sanhok.
One team that I am looking at here, John, is SynerGE. I think from last game, I think they made the initial rotation was fairly decent. Unfortunately, they were very hesitant to move after that. So what I'm looking for here is for this team to make that good rotation at the beginning and then move away from it as well when the time comes. Because sure, you can have a good spot, but if you're unwilling to move, to switch it up, at some point you are going to get clumped upon and just crushed by a team who absolutely knows your position and just takes an off angle on you. X-Spain currently just still in boot camp. Orange Rock, Blind, as well as TrustDProcess, not quite met each other yet. Playing a little bit of a game of cat, mouse, and rat.
Looks like Nepali Ho as well, making that cross now over the river. So the team's still in boot camp now, starting to become a little bit more at risk as it goes through. But they are pretty well covered, and no one really taking too many risks. So it is nice to see that these positions are being held relatively strong for a lot of these teams as they start their rotations. 8-Bit have Paradise Resort all the way to themselves, as we touched on earlier, Blank. They might get challenged out by GamingHub on this rotation that they're coming from Mong Nai, where they landed. Zed moving a little bit further southwest from Tapmok, so they are over towards the bank, maybe trying to control the bridge, watching out for SynerGE. SynerGE, of course, is actually relatively ambiguous because there's 2 teams called SynerGE in this team. SYN is SynerGE Retribution, for people wondering, and then SGE is actually SynerGE. So I'm hoping I'm going to be able to keep track of which one is which.
We'll call Retribution. We'll just call SynerGE. How's that? Fair compromise?
Okay, but which one's which? Now that I just told you, without looking at your notes.
SYN is Retribution.
Is it?
SGE, SynerGE.
Is it?
Yes.
Okay, yeah, you're right.
Thank you. I did my research.
Absolutely.
Excellent.
But for anyone at home who's wondering why there are 2 teams that we're calling SynerGE, that is the reason.
And you also didn't stay up all night looking at a lot of different papers that you were given the day before.
Yeah, no, I mean, you know, we'll try to keep that one covered. But for now, a lot of teams actually just south of boot camp as the exit's starting to come through. Seoul now starting to take a fight near Quarry.
Careful, Mortal. That's an SKS. That will start to take a couple of chunks out of you if you let it. But it looks like that Seoul are still running with a 3-man squad. So we are wondering where Frost is right now. Unfortunately, he just hasn't joined the game yet. Perhaps connection issues are a thing, but I think we'll get on with that one. We'll see how Seoul does for the rest of the game. Currently, they have been doing fairly well considering it is just a 3-man squad. Not too bad at all.
Yeah, they had some pretty decent rotations, pretty decent positioning when it came to the previous game. Unfortunately, the circles were really, really bad for pretty much everyone involved. So the fact that they even managed to get 8th is a gift.
Miracle. Yes.
Miracle, maybe not miracle. I would say good planning, good strategy, good rotations, and pretty good fragging as well. But there's only so much you can do when the circles go like that.
Indeed, indeed. Anyway, we are going to see some bit of pain again These are the guys that were in the final circle with ElementriX. NHN currently controlling the hillside. We've seen this hillside time and time and again. It is very, very strong. So much hard cover up there in the form of the rocks and the trees. If you can control that, you can basically control a 360-degree angle. Look at that, Evoke already taking some shots to the butt there as he tries to shimmy his way down the hill. Get out the way, because Mafia Ninja, he's both from the Mafia and also a Ninja. He's coming at you.
That's a pretty dangerous combo there, because not only is he super skillful in combat and in the ways of the arts of deception and being able to hide in the shadows, but if you mess with him, his entire family's just going to come and mess you up as well.
Absolutely, yeah. And potentially he can get you a couple of things delivered on the down low. Just like you get an SKS just delivered straight to your feet.
Oh dear.
We had a floating sky yesterday. Maybe that was from him. He was just delivering it.
Yeah, maybe it was. 8-Bit, they've made their rotation down southwards, so now they have a compound just to the east of Boot Camp, south of Paradise Resort. GamingHub still playing relatively far closer to the edge. A lot of teams moving very, very central. 2 teams still over towards Boot Camp, one in that central spot. That's, of course, Blind, who were in Lobster to start with. Everybody now finding their feet, finding their placement as it comes towards moving in for the next circle. But there's still a long time to go for Phase 2.
There really is. Again, we're seeing a similar approach to what we saw last game, John, which is where the teams taking their time, playing it, definitely not relaxed, because most of these teams will be absolutely on their toes as they're watching out for other teams coming down. Orange Rock look like they have now left Boot Camp after they fully looted it. Looks like they weren't going to get anything else done there. So, you know what, leaving it, not a bad idea. This is absolutely what you need to see. You need to see teams who are no hesitation in making the correct rotations to a more favorable position. But look at this, though, John. You can't quite see it on your map right now, boys, but on the map there is currently about, I'm going to take a wild guess and say about 8 or 9 teams all around Boot Camp. Blind currently are still there, as is TrustDProcess.
I'm counting 8.
Yeah, so a lot of teams all chilling around here. TrustDProcess also has a very, very scout, very, very far away from him in Shagar, who is all the way down south side of Boot Camp by a lot of teams. You know what? If I was him, I'd be absolutely prone on the floor inside a bush.
At the moment, I'm looking at Nepali Ho, who are spread out over the hillside and actually going to clash with Retribution up the top now as they go in for the fight. Looks like Mafia Ninja, he's taken a couple of bullets, but in come his troops. There we go, his family is there.
Yeah, here comes the familia of NHN. Curio taking a couple of shots here. Hitman it's a Hitman versus the Mafia Ninja. This is going to be one hell of a battle.
Goodness me.
Must is down. He pops out the side. Lovely spray. Does take him out. Will finish him off. Curio also down here. It's just Hitman left. And the only thing that's hitting him is bullets.
Nepali Ho come out on top of the fight. Brilliantly done, managing their position nicely. They now have a lot more control over the hillside, but with all of the teams right around them, there are massive amounts of risk of getting third-partied here. They need to be careful. They need to be on the lookout and heal up relatively fast.
Already the bullets flying past. NLR2 does take a little bit of damage. They will be looting up now. Definitely will be in a good position when it comes to medication. SynerGE now in a little bit of fight of their own. A little bit on the way from NHN. It is pain across the way. Obviously, these guys did quite well from last game. They are trying to control this compound just outside of Painan. Fast shoot. Grenade comes through. Molotov keeps them locked down. Can see the feet, though. SynerGE running around wildly. Ryder somehow survives. He can still see the feet, though. Doesn't know he's being shot from. It's from underneath the shack, mate.
Oh, dear. Kilsum living up to his name. SynerGE trying to skirt around now. They've lost one, but they have the wall for cover. Not too sure they want to take the rest of this fight, however, because, of course, you've got Nepali Ho up to the top of the hill, so they might just turn around and have a look and pepper them down. They might have to push into the compound, and that's not where you want to be, too close to pain. And this is what we saw, actually, from the one-on-one. I'd like to see, if you were watching the European region yesterday, you saw a lot of teams like the former Meditari take a fight, and it went fairly well, and then they realized, actually, we've already done the damage to this team. We can now leave. This is something that Unique does very well too, and I think this is also a position where SynerGE, potentially they can leave here, or even Pain can leave now and go for a better position and not risk being third-partied, because people will have absolutely heard the blast of the gunfire, the thunder over the hills. 8-Bit relatively close to Orange Rock at this stage, but the cover is such in Sanhok that you can be quite close to each other and not even know that anyone is there. They should be right, especially with 8-Bit holding the compound, Orange Rock holding the hillside. They're going to be pretty happy with that. You've got VLT as well over towards the east, and Team RG as well, just a little bit further out. GamingHub pretty much have the north to themselves, and as Zed are over on the other side of Paradise Resort, but they are relatively safe. The next circle, this shift, is really going to dictate who's going to have the power. If it goes south, then Nepali Ho can continue their dominance, but if it heads out east, that's going to be a different story entirely. If it heads north, then it's anyone's game.
Yeah, because currently, like you said, John, if it heads north, there's not really many people up there. We already saw 8-Bit relieve themselves of Paradise Resort. It's only 0 Degree, who are just on the western side of Paradise Resort currently, and those 8 teams are starting to fan out a little bit more past boot camp. But you know what? Blind, they're sitting very still. They're like statues in boot camp. They do not want to go anywhere. They're very happy with this position so far. There is actually a loot crate on top of TrustDProcess who have also been there all game. I mean, if you don't have to move, you don't have to move, right?
Exactly that. See,
I like this trench coat this guy's going on. It's like he's got wings on his legs.
The previous victors from the last game, of course, starting to move in. They're on the other bank across from Painan, so they do still have to make their way over. Should be relatively uncontested, though. Next circle, really quite big, so they are going to be pretty happy. Seoul on the western side of Quarry. This makes the rotation potentially quite difficult. They will be funneled through a choke pretty much no matter where they go, unless it's a hard shift west, in which case they will be in the circle already. They should be all right, but if they have to move anywhere, they don't have the option to rotate east. Yeah,
which is very, very difficult. And if they do want to rotate each, obviously they have to go through MSX. You're completely right, John. This is such a hard position for them because they will be funneled whatever happens right now. Lovely shot there from SynerGE. Vashu with the sniper, straight headshot, that will be an immediate knockout. Orange Rock, though, they're still currently just combing the hillside. 8-Bit, they found themselves a nice little home there. Blind have just been chilling here pretty much all game. Just to process as well, yeah.
They haven't had to. It's, it's no point in doing so. Leaving a compound is very hard, as we say. They are going to have to do it now, though, because the circle now a little bit further to their east. GamingHub are going to be very happy with this one. They will be really, really easily found themselves just controlling the northern side for now. The hills, though, allow a lot of teams to be able to group up. The tricky rotation is Seoul. Look, all the teams in their way. There's just so many people there, but the fight going over with Pain in this compound, SynerGE starting to come in now.
Yeah, getting a little bit of revenge on them. Straight down the middle. Easy peasy for Servi there. Micro Uzi is out. It is silence, but I mean, this guy's already made a very loud entrance. Out goes Evoke, and out goes Pain. SynerGE, despite getting shot in the foot from underneath the shack, not sure what was going on. They definitely weren't confused there whatsoever. Walking in and cleaning that one up nice and proper.
The teams now leaving boot camp blind have had to actually move their feet now. The rubber is going to hit the tarmac and they roll on out, seeing what they can get done. All of these teams now starting to spread out on that southern side of the circle. Seoul might just be able to creep in. They will be contesting with HYDRA and ElementriX as well for that southern position right on the edge. Nepali Ho, they have to move in through 8-Bit.
This is the difficulty, John, now, because we've so little teams on the northern side, and the quarry basically slicing the bottom of the circle in half. You've basically bisected a lot of teams and forced them into a decision of having to move through this western side right now, which is just going to funnel them. When you funnel, having only 3 members in your team, it's pretty painful because you already lack one angle there, and you want to be watching so many different areas in that situation. Luckily for a lot of teams as they come into this final circle, that it is quite hilly high grounds available to them. So if a team does want to hit up a couple of these compounds, because this is a very highly populated area when it comes to compounds for Sanhok in one of these final circles, they will have the opportunity to do that.
ElementriX, they're making a southward rotation. It looks like they're going to go around the south of Quarry, potentially. If they do. No, instead, no, they divert themselves. Now they're going to roll straight through Seoul and see what they can get done. Now a little bit of a fight for the center of the circle as VLT clash with Orange Rock for one of the compounds in a great position. But Team RG, they've heard the gunfire and they're at the top of the hill. You can see them just taking a little bit of position. Not sure they want to engage into this fight just yet, but It'll be a tricky one to do if they do opt to go for it.
Yeah, really for here, the smart thing to do is just be wait for VLT to have a fight with Orange Rock, right? Because after that they can move on in and try and just clean up what is left of either team which survives the onslaught, which is about to happen.
There's no reason for them to start fighting though, however, so I imagine we're just going to see a little bit of a standoff for at least the next phase, if not two. My thoughts are over on the southern side here. Actually, ElementriX have opted to rotate through Quarry and try and go that way, but the fights between HYDRA, SGE, and Seoul are about to kick off on the south side.
Yeah, HYDRA's having absolutely none of it. SynerGE, they rolled on in there. They just had a good time versus Pain, but now they're having to force themselves in this compound where it's very difficult to fight. There's so many areas that HYDRA can pop out from with that excellent cover being provided from the wall. They do have a player down in the form of Vashu. He is now smoked, so he's a little bit covered. They're trying to create a little bit of a smoke path to get to their teammate. If they get to the wall, they have a little bit of an easier time. Servi makes the spray. Doesn't quite hit him, though. Will make the dash across. Pfizer will have seen that.
Oh, dear. That's not the cross you want to make there. Will go down. Unfortunately, that's them eliminated. SGE are going to fall, and that allows Seoul just to find the position that they were taking before. The next circle, though, it's a hard shift northeast. And again, GamingHub are super happy with this. The fight for that central compound between Orange Rock and VLT continuing to rage on, but 8-Bit now coming into third party.
8-Bit, like you say, John, they are prowling up behind them. VLT can spot Orange Rock. Orange Rock took so much damage here. Marvi all the way on the right-hand side left his team very much alone. Surprisingly, Assassin did not spot that on the side of his screen. It was very fast, very little momentum. Obviously, we've got the nameplates on the top side, so you can't blame the lad. RV, however, they're all just waiting in the wind. Nice little nade there onto Orange Rock. Prince also coming through from 8-Bit. High ordnance from the 8-Bit team here. Orange Rock carry on the floor. Existence will have some eyes on the hill, but will it be enough? 8-Bit might have just the idea to just leave now.
Push forwards and 8-Bit dominating the top of the hill now. Trying to just clean it out and get another position. Nicely done by them. Seoul actually crossed over the central road of Quarry, a relatively open rotation, but there was no one really there to capitalize as HYDRA had to move away. ElementriX as well were way ahead of them. So now they're going to find themselves in a little bit of a crunch as three teams going to be rotating relatively parallel on that asset. But on the western side of this next circle, there's huge amounts of conflict as the battle rages on over toward Barn too.
Yeah, Sanhok, a relatively small map, so it's even smaller here than what we saw in Erangel as all these teams are crunched together. Team RG aren't quite able to nick that kill away from the enemy team, but they do have 4 members still remaining, which is very, very strong for them coming to one of the last circles now. Really, GamingHub are in a very good position towards the end of this circle. They've been on the northern side for the most of the time. 0° have also made a rotation in. 8-Bit now in a fight of their own. Ash finds the kill onto Mafia Ninja. NHN, despite taking a lot of fire from a lot of teams, is still up and kicking. Out comes the nades, though. Lake still on the floor. Doesn't quite hit anyone as of yet. Ash does go down. NLR2, very, very accurate there. Lays the fire into them.
The rest of Seoul as well taking a fight with HYDRA. They've already got 2 knocks, but they're taking damage themselves as Mortal goes down. They have to push in and try and get something, but they're looking pretty shaky at the moment. HYDRA, the same story as well going on the south side, but 8-Bit still trying to control the top of this hill. Nepali Ho fighting tooth and nail for it. GamingHub super happy as, again, they don't have to take any fights whatsoever. They make their way into the next circle, and they will be able to control the northern side.
Vipers now are in the grass for NHN. They have got the fangs out and are ready. Smokes come through to cover the approach for the team. Nades also coming though, but they are in the blue. Ted comes across. Will he take the fire? They will. Ghost down. Will not be able to get to his teammate. 8-Bit are being shredded apart right now, John.
But you've got so many teams waiting in the wings. Blind, of course, the team that landed over in boot camp. They can start to fan out as well. HYDRA, Seoul going and Seoul going down. HYDRA in a really shaky spot as well. MSX over on the east, but finally the circle moves away from GamingHub. They're going to have to move down south now, and everybody's going to be vying for position. This is a deadly circle, as pretty much no one's already in it.
0° been playing a little bit of a game of just playing around this circle, very much on the side right now, playing edge, and it's really worked out for them. But they've been making smart rotations all the way way around the side. They will be coming into contact with GamingHub very shortly, though. But Blind, still in the game. Remember, they were in boot camp, so they've not had far to go. NHN Alex takes a big hit from that nade. Not quite out yet, though, but has to get the first aid kit through quick. Oh, he's just shimmying it in. He's just about on the edge of it. This boy is so nervous right now. You got to admit, the sweat is dropping.
Oh, goodness me. He's going to shimmy straight into 8-bit, but they're taking a fight with Blind and the rest of them as well. VLT has started to chime in onto it as well, so they might just be able to snake it on in.
Oh,
in come
no.
Blind. They're pushing onto the position. They might even not know that NHI are there. NHI, sorry, are there. It seems like they figured it out, finally. They are going to be able to get through, and that's going to be the end of their story. Unfortunately, not going to be able to make it further forward. Still in it are ElementriX from the previous round. Of course, they were the winners, as everybody's now going to
Get the smokes away! You don't need those! They don't do that much damage at all. You just get a little bit of a bop on the head.
They can't, there's no way that they can raise
RV goes
X-Bane
down. Nick does finish it out. X-Bane, I think they've got a lot of explaining to do to that boy when it comes through. Blind, currently moving down the hillside. They will go for the res. Unfortunately, when the players will go down, 0 Degree are actually out. Massive firefight on that top side. That's 4 players all down there.
The next circle has just popped. It's all the way over to the east, and ElementriX down on the south side might have a little bit of control here. Team RG on the eastern side as, again, Maximus X, a team that we saw in final circles last time around. Assassin hits the headshot straight away. Nicely done. I think he might see something as well, maybe.
No, he doesn't quite see it. Nick was bobbing his head up and down. He was basically asking for that one. But here, Evos will get his teammate back up. Really got to wonder, do they have the meds to sustain this one? No, yes they do. Pretty decently stacked up, actually, but look at that. Helmet is pretty much off. Armor is hurting as well. They've got to make a mad dash there down this hill. Look how much the circle is ticking for. They can't stay there for very long. Does not hit the sniper shot, though, which will give them a second lease on life. Blind does go down. Nick also on the floor. Evos, I think he's going to try and get a first aid kit off. No, he's just going to make the mad dash, and that is Blind out in 6th. Not a terrible result, but not the one that they were looking for.
Velocity still in it, but they have to push in through ElementriX. They find one frag already. They managed to get it down, but they have taken one in kind. They are going to confirm that kill there, but that's going to alert Mr. Hyozo just about what's going on. Solo player left for ElementriX.
Remember, this was the guy who did so much damage last round. Able to put his team in the first place, but as one player, it's very difficult. Does get a big hit there. Assassin, very low. He is knocked on the floor. Mr. Hyozo does make the shot. He has hard cover around him as well. He just needs to make sure he survives the circle. He is still within it. Can use the first aid kit, but Assassin will be providing so much info here in the third person. Aladdin and MJ making their way into the circle. Obviously, we still got MSX. 4 players still alive. TrustDProcess also moving down.
Oh, Aladdin's waiting here. He's not going to thirst it. Hyozo with discipline.
Oh, RG from behind as well. He's fighting a lot of teams. Take that. Have that. Deal with that one whilst I
they're going
deal
for
with
the
VLT. That is very dangerous.
Oh, that was a huge nade.
A massive nade.
That was a huge nade from Mr. Hyozo. He's really zoning down the southern side, working it absolutely beautifully. He's got 2 rocks to either side of him. He does need to push a little bit further up the hill, but he might have a little bit of a chance. We'll see what he's able to get done. But for now, everybody just jumping about. He's still going, indeed.
Takes down Riser. The dude, though, looks like MSX are heavily geared. They have lost one player. One player is knocked as well. Omega and the dude's still alive and kicking. TrustDProcess just slowly moved over from bootcamp into this final circle now. VLT, looks like that player from VLT has actually been rezzed or is still on the ground. Is that Mr. Hyozo? No, Mr. Hyozo's still in this one, but he is dangerously on the edge of the blue. He has to move in now, but healing. VLT gonna know he's there. Don also crawling up the hill. Oh, this might be the final moments for Mr. Hyozo, despite the excellent run he's had. MSX looking in a really good position though here, John.
I don't think he's moving. I think he's just trying to out-heal the zone for now. If he's stimmed up, he might be able to get it done. If he might be able to make the run, but I think he's just waiting to try and ladder up. For the moment, though, Velocity on the southwestern side are looking for it. There he goes, the dude on that squad coming in from the north, but I'm going to continue to go for it. Mr. Hyozo's still in the fight, but he's maybe looking to try and move in, still healing.
Yeah, I mean, he's got a couple of kills there. MSX Omega are down again. TrustDProcess got a nice little line down here. Vector coming through, such a powerful weapon. Look at the fire rate on that thing. That will take you down in seconds. Mr. Hyozo still alive. He is in. really he's just waiting now. Made his way up to the 4th position in placements. This is an excellent run for him. Assassin lacking a helmet. Will he get the heal off though? That's the question. Yeah, now he has to go in though. Yozu now down in 4th, not a bad position whatsoever. VLT, they've been crawling up the entire time. Now just Assassin alive. He is lacking equipment big style. Saxleo will take down Aladdin 2. Now just Assassin alive. Both the other players on VLT are currently knocked on the ground. RG puts the hurt into TrustDProcess.
Team RG, though, not in the greatest position. TrustDProcess at the top of the hill. Oh, the question is, Team RG, can they clear out more of these kills? Can they get a few more points on board? Assassin is there. He's super sneaky. He's trying to confirm it. He's out in the blue. He knows what's happening. No way he gets in, but he gets the point for his team nonetheless. And now it's TrustDProcess pushing in for a 1 versus 3, but one of them's down into 1v2.
Just Ivan left alive. Has the M4, very accurate, finds the first knock. One other player is down. He can potentially finish this one. He's looking for it. Does not find it. TrustDProcess absolutely did that. Made it to the end. Trust in the other teammates. Obviously, not the highest kill game, but they were in boot camp. They played it carefully. They didn't have to move, rotated around to that north side and moved down through. We are going to have some highlights on screen for you now. Let's check out exactly what happened in that game.
All of those rotations, super clever.
Really clean game there from TrustDProcess in the end. It was very concise, very calculated, made it way to that last circle. But I'm really impressed with Mr. Kyozu overall. I think he's going to be one of our top fraggers within this Group C and D split right now. He's done excellently well to make his way into that last circle. Also, just the calm nature to be out in the blue like that, healing, and trust that he will have the right time, because I think what he was waiting for is that the VLT news down there, right? So he was waiting to make sure that they had made it all the way up in the circle and they'd completely forgotten about him before he did make his mad dash back into the circle. Obviously, in the end there, I think that Team RG, maybe a little bit of misplay. They had a lot of hard cover available to them, but they just weren't able to put the hurt down into TrustDProcess in the end. Even though TrustDProcess were basically in a hard clump for themselves, they forced a lot of plays into them. I think it was a bit of a wide peak that was made at the end by Ivan too, but then again, there's a huge amount of pressure on you as a solo player versus 3, so you can't really blame the guy too much.
No, it is pretty difficult, but I have to say, for that entirety of that game, I didn't see a rotation that I would say was questionable. No. I would say that every single time I was looking at the map, everybody was making the right decision. It really came down to the firefights and the skill, and that's exactly what you want to see in PUBG Mobile. It's right, like you want to see everybody trying to give themselves the best opportunity to do incredibly well.
Yeah,
but you know, some teams, of course, someone's going to have to lose a firefight in the end.
Indeed, and it's crazy because I think we saw a completely different set of teams in the top 3. Obviously, we still had ElementriX in there, but the top 4, there was a very, very different set of teams there, which leads me to believe that this is a very, very close matchup between all these players of the total 16 teams we have with us today in the Group C and D. So what you can expect is 2 more excellent games coming your way in match 3 and 4. We should have some scores to you very, very shortly. But for the time being, John, what can you expect from Miramar, do you reckon?
I think that, again, if the rotations are as clean as they were over on Sanhok, I think I'm expecting a really, really good game of PUBG Mobile yet again.
Yeah.
To try and see how they can play more around that terrain. But in come the scores as TrustDProcess top it out with 25 points.
Not bad at all. Reckoning coming in second with 21. Velocity Gaming there at 19. Maximus X 12. Blind in 9th. despite going out quite late there, quite early, sorry, they still got those 3 points, 6 placement points with the 9 total, and it looks like it's basically similar there from going outwards into 8th place, which is GamingHub at 6. GamingHub had a really good read on the circle there, but when the time to rotate came, where they were actually very, very much in the right position, I think they were hesitant and they didn't quite get the best positioning as they came down from the northern side. And here we have 9th to 16th, as you just saw on the screen there. Here are the total scoreboard points, which is actually super interesting because now we get to actually see how this strikes up. Entity Gaming still in first place with 76 points. ElementriX already on the board though, right at the bottom there with 37 points.
That's more than half, and in 2 games, of course. That's a really good turn up for the books. So they might just be in with it. It's not more than half, actually. I take that back. They're double that, you get 74. So they are within striking distance of Entity Gaming for sure.
Yeah.
They have a really strong performance moving forward, so a nice average coming in from them. Of course, some of these teams will have 2 points. Some of them will have 2 matches played. Some of them will have 4. So everyone who's playing today will only have had 2 matches so far.
As you can see, it just trickles down from there right now. KO at the bottom of the 24th with 11. Pain Esports, after having some pretty consistent games, still in 18th, obviously has 2 games to go. And SynerGE currently having a little bit of a tough time there. Retribution right at the bottom with only 2 total points.
Yeah, you're not going to be too happy with that. But in come the kill leaderboards. Still from X-Spark, it's Ronak sat at the top from yesterday's games. Of course, a lot of these guys will have played yesterday. They have 4 games on the board, so it's unlikely that these will be changing until the end of the day. 11 kills, a very decent performance.
A nice team Mega X there though, with Snacks and Swag both with 9 kills apiece. You can be sure though, in the next couple of games, we're most likely to see this leaderboard change a little bit. We see some of these players start to get on the board. In particular, Mr. Hyosu. I'm actually wondering how many kills Mr. Hyosu currently has. I'd be very interested to see that statistic.
Yeah, I think he has done pretty well for himself so far. We'll see if he's able to claim one of those top 5 spots as the day goes on.
Yeah, it would be very, very cool to see and try and knock those guys off from Group A and B. Obviously, A and B was a little bit more dominant with Entity Gaming doing a really, really good job yesterday. I think they just had some very, very strong rotations to the center circle, and then they knew exactly how to play that final circle.
Yeah.
It won't be the final circle for us though, as we still have match 3 to go to, and we will see you there very, very shortly before we go to a quick break. Looks like it is just posturing for the time being.
Yeah, the reason
Out
this
comes
is...
a vehicle.
Oh yeah, Scout is almost certainly done. The tyre pops on that. The rest of the team can just volley in. Ooh. Easy pickups there. Scout's going to go down. The reason that Tempest can hold on this side of the bank is that his team is at his back. If anyone tries to challenge him from the other side. Ronak is trying to get the cover down onto the back line, but it's still Neo taking the fight. Oh dear, Paratosh falls, and now it's just Ronak, and that might eliminate them from trying to be able to zone away Neo, but Neo goes for the shoot.
Versus Mega X and also Salty Squad. And Jonathan been spot out like that. This might be the end for Entity's run here on map 2. That's it. But Godlike are trying to set themselves up for second place. Neo will take him out though. Looking for the finish, get that 15 pointers in there.
It's gotten very low. I don't think Mafia can get rezzed here. Only has the bandage, remember. If he gets it,
He's gonna steal it! You cheeky blighter! Player. Refresh does not come through. Actually just moving out there.
Oh dear.
Oh no, go on. The whole team down.
He's going for another one. He's got AJ at his back, and that's immediately INS going away. Say bye-bye. They're not going to be happy with that sort of paradise.
I know you're looking at me. I know you're looking at me. Nice. I know you're looking at me. 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 I know you're looking at me.
Hello everybody, welcome back to the PUBG Mobile Club Open 2019 Fall Split. We're here with South Asia, and to kick it off, we've got our wonderful sponsor for the event, which is Vivo. Amazing PUBG games need an amazing mobile phone, and the Vivo V17 Pro is the official smartphone of PMCO Fall Split in Nepal, Bangladesh, Pakistan, and Sri Lanka.
With multi-turbo acceleration technology, cold start speeds increased 25%. 8 gigabytes of RAM and 128 gigabytes of ROM. With dual engine fast charging, the V17 Pro never hesitates.
And something else that's just fast charging is the way that the rates of these games are going, dude. They're going pretty fast, got 45 minutes per game.
Right.
But it doesn't feel like it because the teams have basically been rotating into this final circle very, very slowly because they've been making excellent rotations, as you keep mentioning, just because so many teams are making it all the way to the end. We've got 4 players in basically every team. We've got like 16 teams making it to phase 4, phase 5. And this is a consistent recurring theme from match 1 and 3. Now, we're going to head over to Miramar, which is where vehicles are going to be a little bit more useful because it's a massive map to traverse, and getting into the circle is going to be really important. So what I'm very, very interested to see is how these teams perform these rotations, because Miramar is probably one of the harder maps to do it, especially the terrain being a little bit more rocky, a little bit more harder to traverse, right? And if you want to see more of these games, right, you can subscribe to the mobile esports channel for PUBG Mobile, which you're probably watching on right now. Smash that like button too. And if you want to play some PUBG games yourself, you can download PUBG Mobile on the Google Play App Store and the iOS App Store as well.
Yeah, of course. If you want to try and be up there with the best, you've got to start somewhere.
Pro. Yeah.
So make sure you head over and download that. Give it a try. Give it a go. But as you said, hovering over to Miramar, vehicle rotations, much more important. What we're seeing, though, I was sort of having a think about this over the break, was what we're seeing is a lot of passive rotational style, right? Which isn't a bad start. I'd say it's quite a good way to play, but nobody's taken the initiative and gone for the aggressive style. With the antithesis of a region like Europe that we've seen so far, everybody's super aggressive, right?
Oh, yeah.
Everybody always wants to go for a fight. And when you find that balance within a set of teams, that's when things can really start to be start to be exciting. If all 16 are passive, it's not super exciting, but it's intelligent rotations. If all 16 are aggressive, it's exciting, but not really that intelligent. It's kind of, you've got to find that happy middle ground.
Like 8 teams all crash into one
whichever
compound.
team, I would say, gets that fire in their belly early on or earliest, then they might just be in with a chance of taking it and going a little bit more aggressive, running strats that maybe other people aren't used to.
Well, SynerGE, we've actually seen a lot from SynerGE, sort of a little bit of aggressive plays, maybe misplaced at times though, because they are trying to take a lot of firefights, whereas teams are just quite happy to coexist in like a compound at the same time together. What was really cool for me was seeing like 8 teams all in the space of around about 100 meters of each other and no one dying. And them all managed to move away from it. But we are getting to our game now. We are heading over to the Miramar. We've got a little shot of a video here showing you exactly what we will be dropping into and the unique weapon, which will be the Winchester 94.
Not really super impactful beyond like sort of right at the start of the game.
Mate, I'm with the Winchester 84. I'm an absolute legend with it. I can hit a man from 500 paces.
Sure. Right, well, the plane path is going to be heading pretty much directly across the south of Miramar, which is going to isolate quite a lot of good spots here. Of course, with Miramar being so big, it's difficult to drop too far away from the plane. It means that El Pozo is difficult to get to here. Hacienda del Patron right on the edge of where is possible. La Cobreria probably pretty much impossible. Same for Campo Militar. And we're going to see a little bit more of a southern game. I'm imagining about 4 or 5 teams, maybe even dropping Los Leones. Picado will be a hot drop here. Monte Nuevo might be quite popular too. Minas Generalis, potentially?
Potentially. Now, Los Leones, like you said, a lot of teams could go here. It is, although it looks small on the screen, it is quite large. So a lot of teams can actually drop here and then move away as well, because there is vehicle spawn basically around it near the roads in the areas around there. 8-Bit seem to have been taking quite far drops away from all the other teams and trying to get a solo position early on and then kind of address the situation from there and move into the circle in their own time. I'm going to be taking a look at basically Zed again, because they very much spend a lot of time on the edge of the circle as to 0 degree. But we will see how it happens and how it goes down.
8-Bit dropping Los Leones pretty much solo.
Yeah.
It's a huge city. There's enough loot there for about 3 or 4 teams, quite happily to sort of coexist there. So we'll see how they're able to get it up, and they should be, pretty powerful
this
into
is
the
the
rest
one
of the
thing
game. Into the rest of this game.
I've never super understood about PUBG is this why they kneel in the seat. Like, surely you'd want to sit in the seat. That's what it's there for. I guess they do get to look ahead of them and see what they're coming up on. Ooh. 0 Degree, God, already putting in the work with the Mini 14,
Yeah.
so that is probably the first time we've seen in all the matches and the biggest map to do it in as well, where we've seen the first kill coming around about the first minute of game.
Yeah.
HYDRA also going wild too, so it seems like they have heard what you were saying, John, and the aggression has been turned up a couple of notches.
If you're going to drop near a team like HYDRA, you've got to be prepared for what's to come. And already two players have dropped. 2 players are out of the game. Of course, Sol's still playing with that 3-man squad, so we are a player down in the lobby. But yeah, exactly. Miramar is a map where we're probably going to see a little bit more DMR play than we do on a lot of the other maps. You know, over on Erangel, you sometimes see things like an SLR, but normally people stick to either a sniper and an AR, or an AR and potentially even an SMG, or double up on the ARs themselves. But over here, the range is so much more important, so having that accuracy that a DMR provides you is going to be there. On a flip side, on a map like Vikendi, you're going to see a lot more micro-easy play going on out.
That's a bit ambitious. I mean, he's got a wizard hat on, but I don't think you can make those bullets go that far with a shotgun.
He's just a weird little crow, isn't he?
Oh, Evos crawling. He's about to receive the full force of a double-barrel shotgun, or he's just going to let him crawl down the hill to his doom.
It's certainly going to be a murder of crows from Maj Alpha.
Absolutely. You're completely correct, John. Very much in agreement with what you're saying about the ARs and the snipers here. We are going to see probably more DMRs available on Miramar because, yeah, distance, it can be, but a lot of times you'll be taking factor about 200 meters from a hillside from the other side. But the reason why you don't see so many DMRs on Erangel and Sanhok is because these players are so bloody damn good, aren't they? And especially the gyroscope involved on PUBG Mobile, where if you are very, very good at it, you can control a spray like there's no tomorrow.
Absolutely. I mean, the spray control in general on mobile is really, really strong. A lot of teams clashing early, so it is going to be a much more aggressive map, and wasn't really expecting this on Miramar, but there we go. I mean, they were absolutely listening, apparently, to what I was saying. I
mean, they want to turn it up a little bit. A lot of teams have been getting off a bit too scot-free, right, as we come towards the end of the circles. About 64, 63 players remaining right at the end there. So now Vashu here with the shotgun going for very long. What's this with people and basically thinking the shotguns are a DMR? It's not how it works, mate.
Well, it's suppressing, certainly. Seems like the rest of his team are going to be...
This is a sniper rifle. Believe me, please. I'm going to hit you with my shotgun now. Please don't stand anywhere near cover. Just come out for 1 second, please. Don't apply that bandage. Why are you running away from me? So Blind will get away with a couple of players still in tow. Psycho, as you can see on the other hillside. Really, SynerGE are doing a really good job to keep him pinned down here for just the time being. Let's take a look at the map really quickly. We'll explain to you what's going on. It looks like EX on the site, ElementriX, they're doing exactly what they've usually done, which is play that edge. They're going to move around to the northern side, come through there. MSX is also coming from the western side too, as is GamingHub. GamingHub, they have to move a little bit this game, so we'll have to see how their rotations come through and how they do there. But really, HYDRA's got a very good position here, dead center in the middle of the circle, near La Bendita, and Los Leonos still controlled by 8-bit, but NHN are close on the tails of 8-bit right now.
El Azahar actually relatively contested over on the northeastern side of this next circle. Like I have to read my words though. Apparently La Cobreria, mouthful to get out, but it's going to be taken by ElementriX, so they have a bit of rotation and way to go. Velocity, not going to be holding it down against SynerGE there.
No, SynerGE actually were all in one vehicle. I know you hate that, John, but we will see it there. The spray was pretty good from Assassin, though. We saw him in the last game get one to the very, very final for the circle. I believe they went out in 4th place because he was just crawling his way in. But he is lone by himself, but that M4, like we were saying before, these players in PUBG Mobile, absolutely brilliant. Testament to the absolute skill that you can absolutely acquire in this game. He's just watching for them now. He has very clean sight lines and a really nice bit of cover there right in the corner to keep himself nice and healthy. Well, SynerGE, they're a bit angry about this. And I was saying they were a bit of an aggressive team before. I was really worried he's about to get run over by his own teammate.
I don't think it's possible. I don't think there's team damage on vehicle rolls.
No?
Pretty sure.
You pretty sure?
Pretty sure.
Pretty 100%.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, the number of times I've seen people just get smacked by a vehicle and then just jump in like nothing happened.
Yeah. We might just be seeing a little bit of the ping there, more
Maybe.
than anything. Assassin now moved over to the shack. They've gone from very, very powerful cover to now very much destructible cover. So he's gone from the one extreme to the next. Ooh, okay, this could be really good. Does see them pass. They have rocked up. It's all 4 members. Drops out. Will he find one? Yes, he does. There goes the knock. He's got... You know, it's just all 3 of them. Oh, VLT right in the corner. Assassin does go down. He had a right good spray on them too, but just could not find the shots in the end.
When you roll in that close a range with a team that I think was holding about 2 shotguns as they were going forwards.
Yeah, that was the worst timeline for Assassin right there.
You really, there's nowhere to hide, right?
No.
You are just going to get taken down, unfortunately. But the first circle is starting to close now. People do need to start to make their way in. The map's still really, really quite big. 8-bit entirely happy with their spot as well in Los Leones. Nobody has challenged them for it. Only Nepali Ho are anywhere near them, and they're not even going into the city yet. So, I mean, really, really strong for them in the south. Right in the middle, though, Minas Generales going over to HYDRA. That is a nice spot for them in terms of this next circle that will pop once the first circle closes. They will be pretty strong, and they should be able to have a good rotation into the next moving forwards. Orange Rock in Cruz de Valle will have to start to move down south as actually TrustDProcess have surrounded their exits, so they might have a little bit of a tough time, but if they can find one of the members of TrustDProcess solo, they might have a little bit more luck on that front.
Yeah, after that really it's just a game of basically knocking the moles down one by one. You make it a lot easier for yourself after that. Orange Rock making their way down from Tierra, past El Azahar and La Hacienda del. This is where they want to go. So Orange Rock, like you said, they are encumbered on all sides, but one solo player going down, it becomes a lot more difficult for them. And with 4 players in tow, all very, very close to each other, they will be able to hit the refrag on any players. So TrustDProcess, a bit of a precarious situation here, but on the eastern side of the map, we have a lot of teams clustering there, coming over to HYDRA, so HYDRA will have to stand their ground very shortly. And there goes the next circle, all the way towards Impala. Currently, HYDRA is still in it, and Los Leones also, so 8-bit feeling pretty good about themselves, but Pain and NHN are closing in.
Starting now to make their way. Seoul in the foothills around San Martin. We'll be able to hold it down relatively near Graveyard, as everyone is going to start to move now a little bit further in. Nepali Ho making the early rotation towards the center as it does shift southeast. Around La Bandita, probably one of the strongest spots. I would have to say that Team RG, one of the stronger spots as well, over on that eastern side of the circle as everyone starts to make their way forward.
Yeah, Team RG would have a really, really strong position if it wasn't for 0 degree right on their tails there, just underneath the hills, because on that coastline, it's quite a sheer drop, but you can quite feasibly stay and play in that area, using the bankside as basically where you can peek yourself over the top, or not even have to peek in TPP here, because you can just see over the top as long as you get yourself close enough to that ridgeline. Must just get in that vehicle out of the way. He wants to get back on the road as soon as possible. There's the loot crate. Curio will be going for that one, so they will be nice and geared. We'll find out what's inside very, very shortly, I imagine.
Ooh, a little bit of a crunch potentially for 8-bit. Coming in from Nepali Ho as they are rotating relatively close to each other. You've got HYDRA as well waiting around the corner a little bit further away. So they might have a little bit of a conflict. A little bit of fire is being shot on out over on the south side of the next circle. A little bit of conflict as they see everyone trying to rotate on it.
8-bit moving out. That's what we were talking about before. NHN closing in. They had a really decent game last time, but 8-bit Prince will find a nice headshot back onto Alex, taking him down, and Prince will finish him too. So 8-bit, despite being converged upon, will to force the members of NHN back. They are fairly split at the moment, so maybe Alex was taking a little bit of a fight that he really shouldn't have been doing there.
Move away. Los Leones still in the circle, but it's a decent decision for 8-bit to move out this early. The circle more than likely won't end there, so getting out before people have got a crowd around it, a nice decision for them. It'll be a lot easier to get back in should they choose to. The northern rotation, though, is starting to cluster up. You've got TrustDProcess, you've got Retribution, as well as Orange Rock, trying to all make the same entrance to this next phase.
It becomes very, very rocky and mountainous as we head towards this coastline as well, John, which is going to change a lot of the plays, especially trying to get vehicles up there and getting a crash in, because more often than not, you are going to see people fumble the vehicle runs, right, as you come over there. So pushing teams like 0 Degree and Team RG, that's going to be what becomes difficult, and that's exactly why 8-Bit are trying to move over there and try to claim a bit of that land, a little bit of that area for themselves.
Ooh, he's looking for the shot. Just over the ridge line.
He knows they're there.
The Car 98. It's a one-shot headshot. Anything other than the level 3 helmet. Pretty deadly, but sticking to the ridge line. Good discipline coming out from 8-Bit. Fortunately, they'll be able to survive. The northern rotation has spread out just a little bit, but ElementriX are now starting to move down further south. They might find themselves in with a little bit of trouble from Seoul if they do go any more further south, but with Prince, he's in the crosshairs. HYDRA, though, not going to take the shot. Still, just biding their time.
HYDRA's teammate here also has another Car 98K, so these guys are deadly at long range. But as the circle closes in, that long range just becomes more and more tight-knit, and ARs and DMRs become much, much more handy. 8-Bit currently just holding on over here. They're right dead on the side of the circle. Circle goes a little bit north.
Okay.
0 Degree still within it, though. NHN, they've got a little bit of ways to go, but it looks like they are moving down towards the southeast, so they're going to try and go past the coast side. Nice little bit of shot from Blind there. Orange Rock completely just clapped back immediately. One of the players going down. Now only 2 players remain from Blind. There's going to be a really hard run for Blind now, coming forward. Nick is really a little bit stuffed now. Unless he has smokes, making it down this valley side, it could be so difficult. Orange Rock will always know he's there, and they'll be constantly looking around. Look at that valley. That is basically Death Valley if he wants to go down there. Best hope he can have is probably to move over to the left-hand side here, John, and then move down the hillside into their compound and then all the way around. But even so, that means a very, very fast run there where he's completely exposed before he hits that ridge line to get that cover.
Again, Team RG just sat in a really good spot. They've held this one down for quite a while. They're into the next circle as well. They have a decent rotation set of options for the next as well. Really nice to see coming out from them. Everybody now making their way in. Still 16 teams standing, Blank. We're still in phase 3, although a couple of players have gone down in the meantime. 8-Bit holding a very open area, but they've managed to find themselves a ridgeline. They've got cover from pretty much both sides, and Ash is watching their back, so they are in a pretty strong formation at this stage. You can see they're taking a little bit of a fight. Well, maybe actually, I don't think they are taking the fight, actually. I think it's HYDRA taking the fight over towards Velocity, but trying to figure it out now, and now the fight comes in. In comes the crash, the first 2 hit. This is a decently operated crash.
Immediately in there, Ted coming up the rear as well. Zombie does go down. There is a player already knocked. Avi is also down now. Prince looking to finish off HYDRA. You can see them waiting in the walls. Spies are still alive. They're looking for the refrank here. Great plays from this team, just cycling out their players. HYDRA will drop down. Will they go for it? But Ted's waiting outside. This was such excellent play, so well coordinated. There are a couple of players still remaining. Just the one now. It's Harry. He's going for the drop out of the back. Wants to survive. Keep his team in this one for as long as possible. But 8-Bit, they have completely got this on lockdown. Prince does go down. There are players still available. Ted, solo HP, and that is it. Out they will go. Now 8-Bit control a really strong position on the map, as well as retaining all 4 players, John. Oh no, Avi does go down.
Yeah, they did lose one early, but that was a perfectly executed crash. We saw it was executed in 3 phases. First up, you saw the duo roll on in. One of them did go down and actually got confirmed, but the backup was there. And when the first spray sets came in for the first car, the reloads had to be there, which is when the second phase of the crash comes on and it comes through. They push in against no shots, right? They have such a great advantage. That's exactly what we saw. They managed to get 1-2 knocks there. And then the third player comes on in to try and get the flank on a separate angle. So really nicely operated, beautiful stuff. It pays off beautifully with them. Even in third person, where crashing is even harder.
Viper, how the hell did you get away with that one, son? Now ElementriX.
Pure skill. I mean, a lot of luck, but pure skill mostly.
Yeah, ElementriX now moving down the hill. They know the boys down there with basically no HP. Currently healing up, and he's only healing up for, via
have a
stims.
first aid.
Is that a that's a nade? He's going to drop the nade through. That could be a little bit dangerous for ElementriX. Doesn't quite hit anyone as yet, but Honoralin coming over. Out comes the nade
That might
again.
hit. Okay, no, he didn't cook it for quite long. And Viper more than likely
He's in a
go
tough
down
spot,
here.
yeah. One bullet and he's done. He does have some support from Orange Rock though. The Viper, yeah, unfortunate.
Dead snake in the grass. I think that's Soul
That's
eliminated.
Soul out again as well. Soul not having a great run so far in day two.
We did see something similar last season. They started off slow but ended up topping out the regional finals. So, you know.
I mean, we have to remember that they are playing with only 3 players.
That is true
It's
as well.
got to be demoralizing
Oh, yeah.
as well as running into these games where basically having that 4th member is really, really crucial to you. Currently, 0 Degree have control over this compound. They're controlling just one specific area. I really like this. This means they can absolutely clamp down on this area, make sure they have all the angles covered without having to worry about spreading themselves a little bit too thin. Pain still going strong. ElementriX trying to make their way into the circle currently. Killsome are landing a lot of shots there. Vehicle now smoking, becomes a little bit more difficult. Does take a shot from somewhere. I believe it's off from his right, actually, from Team RG, if I'm not mistaken.
The Car 98 from Killsome.
No, it's
trying
MSX.
to land the spot onto ElementriX. But they just hit the deck. They heal up, disciplined, but minimal meds actually coming out from a lot of these teams so far. It has to be said. I haven't seen that many, but right in the center, it's GamingHub, and they're in a position where everybody's going to be looking at them, especially around that crate. Not going to be happy there. They do have a lot of cover to play around, but they've already lost one.
I mean, there's so many other places in the circle, but the first place most people look is dead center, and that's why GamingHub has set themselves up, so everyone will be looking right at them. Pain still trying to give a bit of ElementriX a bit of a tough time, but not quite happening for them. But what they will be doing is completely suppressing them there. And there's not really many other teams around them other than MSX who are actually taking some pot shots at them. Killsome knows that's happening, checks the hillside. Other than that, though, his angles are pretty clean. But now the vehicle is smoking. ElementriX know they can't use that to get in, so they're pretty much going to have to suffer the long walk over here.
They should be all right. They've got a lot of ground to cover them. And a lot of the teams are quite far away, so they make a little insurgency into the circle, and seems to be going pretty well. They do start to take a fight, though, across the way against Orange Rock.
Very aggressive, aren't they? They fight anyone they see.
Absolutely. Well, you do kind of want to keep people at range here on Miramar. It's very important to be able to control that open ground when you're relying on it.
That's TrustDProcess out in 13th there.
Look at the circle. Oh, my goodness me.
Wow, that is
really
a
hard north shift.
Massively hard shift. Orange Rock felt like they were going to have to make a long drop down south, but now they're all laughing to themselves, saying, we have an excellent position here. Now they just have to hold it. Only problem for them is that ElementriX now don't have to make such a long run into the circle. They can just move over to onto the right side, but already Poo Poo Man down.
A little bit of a fight starting to open up as 8-Bit roll on towards MSX. They've already managed to get one down. Looks like they want to confirm it. Ted will do so. 6 kills already on the board for 8-Bit. This might be their game to have a little bit of a shine, but they've still got a long way to go. 12 teams remain standing. Omega trying to bust out with the vehicle, but still getting carried from the sidelines. The vehicle is smoking, and he's managed to find a little bit more cover. Open the field, he goes, but the rest of the team not be so lucky.
Wow, very, very nicely done from 8-Bit. Completely razzed that car down. Omega actually took a really good route around the side of the ridge, making sure he was in cover the whole time. His team did not make the same smart decision. Now look at this. All the teams start to converge. A lot of teams going down. That will be ElementriX going down in 12, the team that's been pretty consistent so far with their players. Mr. Hyozu obviously not taking them all the way to the brink this time. Mafia Ninja making one of the craziest run-throughs on that buggy there. I'm surprised no one razzed him down. But SynerGE, they're in a fight of their own, so they have to pay attention to this.
Oh dear, GamingHub
Really?
as well, going to start to take the fight as they go through. No, oh dear, yeah, it just gets blown up. The vehicle goes down, and that's them. Mafia Ninja now the last remaining player for Nepali Ho. Continue to move on forwards. MSX get eliminated by 8-Bit in the meantime.
Oh, SynerGE are in such a tough spot here. Team RG are rolling up. Got to have seen them. He's going to go for the res, though. He has some clean cover from GamingHub, but look at them. They have to immediately roll on round. Teams all around them right now, John. This is terrifying for SynerGE.
HYDRA needs to heal up, needs to try and find a way to get out of this, because Team RG, they're bearing down. The nades are going to be so devastating, and all it's going to take is one. Bashu goes down yet again. HYDRA lobs the nade towards the back position. This might just be enough. The banks another nade off, but I think that might just be able to go a little bit too far. The rest of the team not going to take too much damage. Ryza playing forwards. They know they don't need to go too much further in, but the rest of the team does need to be aware that Zed is encroaching. They need to protect their teammate in this close combat.
That was very smart from HYDRA there. Used the nade to kind of force Ryza's hand, but now Ryza absolutely knows where he is. HYDRA goes in, does go down. That's SynerGE out. Ryza putting his name on the map there. Very well played to crash into SynerGE. Really wonderfully placed smokes to basically cover his entrance onto that position, but now everyone's going to be looking at him. 10th place goes down to SynerGE. Of course, we just saw it. Smokes are now down once again. His team are not with him. They're all just rocking up now, but GamingHub still available and alive, but Orange Rock still in such a good position. They're split up a little bit on that northern side of the circle, but again, the circle shifts over to them. Really, they only have to worry about Retribution over here.
0Degree taking the fight now. GamingHub in the sidelines might be able to third party as people start to go down for both of these teams on the southeastern side. Remember, of course, you got Velocity as the wildcard. MJ still live and kicking for his squad. Playing at the back, but another shift over towards Orange Rock is going to favor them super heavily. 8-Bit have started to make that rotation, but Sandu stands in their way. Mafia Ninja has found his way in as well, so nicely done by him.
Looking for those placement points, absolutely. 0Degree still taking those pot shots though. I think Retribution might have a chance here with a couple of the players they do have. Carry is a little bit out of the way, about to meet them. Does take a couple of shots. Does he find any kills though with that? Mustang manages to kill himself. That's very, very much unfortunate.
8-Bit roll on. Here comes Sandu. He's the first guard for Orange Rock. He's got his team at his back, but they continue to push up. They are very, very split. He just turns at the wrong time. Will go down. Mavi to try and back him up. Gets sprayed away. Will not be able to take the rest of the fight. And 8-Bit yet again make a decent crash. They have taken one casualty, but Ted is going to be able to get rezzed here. Mavi needs to heal as Sandu makes an open crawl.
Mavi gonna try and cover his teammate. Party Bus goes forward towards GamingHub. Ash, this is a little bit of a crazy play, son.
Is he stuck?
I think he might be a little bit stuck there. But if they just destroy the party bus, the party's going to be all over Ash. He's going to completely explode. GamingHub still making it in. Ash comes out, makes the good spray. Will go down himself, though. Really needs his team to go for the refrag.
Here comes 0Degree.
He's actually going for 0Degree because 0Degree coming up behind him. A deal goes down, so 0Degree will take that kill away from 8-Bit. They're just happy to get away with a couple of their lives intact. 8-Bit Prince now going up to help. Ash knows he can't move too far away from the smoke, but now there is some very feasible cover there.
He's dead.
But already, Orange Rock taking some shots from the sidelines.
They're able to get it done. Prince will be there. We'll spot this one out. Goes up for the spray.
Excellent spray there, John.
Wins out the trade. Nicely done. And actually, Ted fires over onto Orange Rock. 8-Bit taking so many kills this game. 8 kills for 0Degree as well. It's been a great performance coming in. 11 already on the board for 8-Bit. They're able to clean the rest of house. There's going to be a lot more to come as well, and could be a good performance. Already is a good performance by all metrics.
All these teams definitely deserve to be here. Obviously, Orange Rock got a little bit of that circle look going for them, but 0Degree been playing that edge really, really well. Orange Rock carry in a tough position. Prince goes down, one of the top fraggers on the team. Out comes the smoke, going to allow him to come towards him. Again, like we said before, when a vehicle has been destroyed, it's completely indestructible, so we'll provide a lot of good cover there. This is also really smart. They're going to smoke the vehicle. That would be the preferable position to hold in. So even if a team takes the crossfire, shoots past the bus, they won't get them because they're in a different place in the cover. 0Degree still have a good shot of making their way into this circle and actually winning out because they are very, very close with this ridge line for cover. Again, Orange Rock splitting themselves very thin. Marvy taking so many shots there, currently on the ground, crawling away.
They have a lot of hills to play around. Will they be able to hold it down? The threat from the left and the threat from the right needs to be managed beautifully. 0Degree now start to go for the push. It looks like the meds are low for Orange Rock. Nades over the top, and it's going to force Mavi out. They spot him. Looks for the spray, but he's going to get shut down by Sandu. Mavi baits it out beautifully. Now it's just Surya on the sidelines. As Mavi pops up, goes for the spray. We'll be able to spot it. On the spot, it's out. The snake, but goes down for his trouble. On the meantime, 8-Bit are facing off, and 0Degree now really on the ropes.
Prince still alive, looking for the throne here this match. 3 players alive, 1 knocked for Orange Rock. This is going to be so difficult for 8-Bit Prince to do this. Fortunately for him, so far Orange Rock have been super split, so he can take one player at a time. There is potential here for the 4v1. Very, very unlikely, John, but Prince, if anyone can do it, it is him. He is back up. All the resources have been funneled into him. He has the party bus for cover here, so it's very, very good for him. He also has the ridge line.
I was talking about the number of kills for 8-bit, but Orange Rock, they've got 16 as well. Looking for that 17th to try and crown it, but up goes Prince, goes for the 1.
Does not find it.
Isn't going to be able to get it done. Beautifully done by Orange Rock. 17 kills for them. Second place with 11 for 8-bit. Finally, those strong rotations pay off for them. Beautifully done. Orange Rock, though, they should be definitely proud of that performance.
Absolutely, John. I mean, they had the circle looked right. It was on top of them, but they played it really, really well. I thought the split might come back to bite them, but they were just making sure they held down all the angles, because that's exactly what what was going to actually come back to bite them, which was 0 Degree coming off from the sidelines. But Orange Rock handled it perfectly, whilst also suppressing 8-bit Prince and the rest of his team over on that side. We're going to see some highlights now as we begin the game. Obviously, this plane buff was actually pretty big for how the game actually ended up in the end, because a lot of teams couldn't really go anywhere towards that north side. So when Orange Rock took that position towards the north, no other teams also dared to take it, and the circle just kept on going north away from everyone else.
So this is what I was highlighting earlier in the gameplay. You want to be able to keep that distance. So the distance between them on the split there was actually pretty decent, because you have so many open sight lines that you can control anyone trying to crash into your teammates. And barring, excellent use of smoke, barring hard cover, which there wasn't, so Orange Rock just had phenomenal control over the ending zone in those circumstances, despite being as split as they were, which on a map like Erangel, on a map even like Sanhok, it's going to be deadly to be that far apart, but not here, not on Miramar. They had the open lines, they had the sight, and my goodness, they had the fragging power to back it up as well.
Yeah, that's going to put them ahead by 37 points. And if I remember correctly, that was actually ElementriX with the lead with 37 points currently.
Yeah.
So they basically just got all the points that ElementriX were able to accrue
in
over two matches in one. So really, really incredible overall for Orange Rock. They'll be very, very happy with that one. If they can continue this kind of performance coming forward, maybe they can catch up towards where Entity Gaming is, who I believe sitting at about 74 points total. So Orange Rock, they have a chance here, but there is only one more match today, so they need to have another blaze like they've had the one right now.
Absolutely. I mean, if you want to be able to pick it up, you got to be able to frag out. They did just that. The question is, was it circle though? Was it just the fact that they kept getting a really hard shift over towards the north side and being able to control it like that? I mean, capitalizing on it, great, fantastic, but it's consistency that's the name of the game here, right? You're going to be playing 12 games over the course of the group stages, and if you're only able to pop off when you get circles, well, I've got bad news for you. It's not going to happen every time.
I think the thing for me was the fact that not only was the circle very lucky for them, you also had the terrain being ridiculously lucky. It was so, so good for them. Here's the scoreboard. Like I said, 37 points for Orange Rock, 8-bit coming in second, but it's not a close second with only 25 points, and then it goes down from there. Obviously, 8-bit and Orange Rock taking the kills from every single one else in the server. So you got 18 points dropping down to 10, and then 8, it drops all the way down to 6 for SynerGE. We're now going to see the next scoreboard coming on the screen right now. 9th is SynerGE. Obviously, 5 points for them. Velocity Gaming coming in 4th. So right at the bottom of 1, just not the performance that we're looking for from these guys.
No, certainly not. In comes the total scoreboard as Entity Gaming still sat up there, but take a look at where Orange Rock have managed to get. They're on 52 points. If they can get, I think that's 24 points in the next map, they will be able to draw even with Entity. See what they can get done. I believe if there is a case of a tie, it does go down to kill points as the tiebreaker, so we'll have to see who comes out on top there. But the rest of the table, it's kind of not fully recognized just yet. Of course, a lot of teams with 3 games, a lot of teams with 4 games, so we'll have to wait and see who is going to be there. But the teams towards the bottom of the table with 4 games, they're not going to be super happy about that. So teams like KO, Hype, and Portal Esports really underperforming yesterday. Hopefully going to be looking to have a better day in their coming up games over the course of this week.
Now we've got the kills leaderboard. Here we go.
There he goes.
Ronak on 11 kills, but Orange Rock all the way up there now with 9 kills apiece. What is interesting to note, though, is Entity Gaming, they don't have a single player up here anymore. Neo was on there before, now he's been knocked off. But that's interesting to say that they're right at the top of the leaderboard. They've just had such consistency, so it still seems that placement points are coming in massively handy here. We are also seeing teams that are sitting around about that 1st to 9th place averaging around about 15 kills per games and about 40 points total. We are going to be back with you with match 4 very, very shortly. We'll be going over to Erangel, and we'll see you there very, very soon. Thanks for being with us. Looks like it is just posturing for the time being.
Yeah, the reason
Out
this
comes
is...
a vehicle. He's going.
Oh yeah, Scout is almost certainly done. The tyre pops on that. The rest of the team can just volley in. Ooh. Easy pickups there. Scout's going to go down. The reason that Tempest can hold on this side of the bank is that his team is at his back. If anyone tries to challenge him from the other side. Ronak is trying to get the cover down onto the back line, but it's still Neo taking the fight. Oh dear, Paratosh falls, and now it's just Ronak, and that might eliminate them from trying to be able to zone away Neo, but Neo goes for the shoot.
Versus Mega X and also Salty Squad. And Jonathan been spot out like that. This might be the end for Entity's run here on map 2. That's it. But Godlike are trying to set themselves up for this second place. Neo will take him out though. Looking for the finish, get that 15 pointers in there.
It's gone very low. I don't think Mafia can get rezzed here. Only has the bandage, remember. If he gets it, he's going to steal it! You cheeky blighter!
Player. Refresh does not come through. The Cash is just moving out there.
Oh dear.
Oh no, go on. The whole team down.
He's going for another one. He's got AJ at his back, and that's immediately INS going away. Say bye-bye. They're not going to be happy with that sort of paradise.
Hello, welcome back to the PUBG Mobile Club Open 2019 Fall Split for South Asia. Vivo is our excellent sponsor of the stream today, and if you want to beat everyone out on the battleground, you need uninterrupted gaming time with a fully loaded Vivo C1X.
Play PUBG Mobile with a 22.5 watt Vivo flash charge. There we go. With 22.5 watt Vivo flash charge, the Qualcomm Snapdragon 712 processor, and a 4.5 thousand milliamp hour battery brings you the most immersive experience.
I think we need to upgrade our brains to Qualcomm Snapdragon 712 to be honest with you, at some point. Yeah.
I agree.
I think it will be very, very fast and good for us to analyze the circles as we have just done in Miramar, where Orange... What is this? Is this analyzing?
This is me going fast.
Is this... Oh, okay.
Why are you coming fast?
Sorry. You're so fast, dude, I promise. Wow, oh my god, look how fast he's going. But yeah, the Orange Rock...
My name's actually John Allen, not Barry Allen. Just saying. Oh, Joe's good joke.
Orange Rock there made their way all the way to the end of the circle. A little bit of circle look, a little bit of terrain look as well. I was going to say at the end of the broadcast last time that they had insane terrain available to them. It was incredible to see. They basically had everything on lockdown because with that third-person advantage, they could just prone inside their little ditches and then pop up and grab them wherever they could. If you also want to play like Orange Rock and be the best and potentially power the big boys in the PMCO, you need to download PUBG Mobile on the Google Play App Store or on the iOS App Store if you are on iPhone as well. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel down below and hit that like button too to show your support for PUBG Mobile.
We all love a good bit of PUBG Mobile, of course.
We do, yeah, love it.
Absolutely phenomenal. And we're going to be seeing some more phenomenal PUBG Mobile coming up next. We're over back to Erangel. So it's the first time these teams will play it for a second time. You know, that happened previously with the other groups, but now
that did happen, yeah.
But these are new groups, these are new teams. This is essentially a new tournament for the start of it. Of course, each of these groups will have the opportunity to play against each of the other groups once, playing in sets of 4, which is going to total up to 12 games each. So everyone will play everyone. It will be pretty exciting to see how everyone's going to stack up. But after this game, we're going to see a nice representative scoreboard as well, with 4 games played by every single team in the tournament. We'll be able to get a great feel for how everyone is doing.
Yeah, I'm thinking the Entity are probably going to keep the top spot here, unless Orange Rock can do something absolutely incredible here. They do actually have to get a 36-point game here today, so it would mean
25.
25?
Yeah.
Where are they sat at now?
I think they were on 52.
52? Okay, well, there's only 25. So it's actually fairly doable.
I might be mistaken. I'll have to double check that now.
If they come first, grab those 5 kills, absolutely fine. If they can do the same. But Erangel, you had a little bit of a tougher time, to be honest with you, where we saw them rotating a little bit poorly here and there. They didn't make it all the way to the end of the circle, but then they made themselves very, very known on top of the tower, and then they had to walk down the hillside into the waiting arms of all the teams who basically went across the river. They were like, well, we know you have to come down at some point, and when you do, we will fill you with bullets. It's going to be a set time. Here we go. Getting the game now. Erangel on your screen. Map size is 8x8. There's 16 towns available. So it's quite a large map overall, allowing a lot of people to get good coverage of the map here. We are going to just check out where the plane path is going. I believe it is straight through the middle from the south to the north. So basically everywhere is available, and you guys at home will also see the absolute enormity and the beautifulness of this map.
Just going to load up now and head over. Everywhere pretty much available. Probably the late drop's going to be less than likely. I don't think we're going to see another squad going over to Kameshki. Military base, we might see someone actually land there this time around. Of course, remember, 3 teams vying for Novo on our first attempt at Erangel. We'll see who's going to go there this time. Over on the western side of the map, that's more available as well. You could see someone go Primorsk, try and drop out a little bit earlier. But again, Pachinki, Rozhok, very, very central, very good positions in terms of that later rotation. Georgia Pole, again, with the skew of this drop, is accessible to all of them.
Look at this, though, John. Down at military base, so many people drop in there. I don't know why I'm doing some really weird hand signals to John. They don't make any sense. They have no meaning. But what they do mean to me is that there are so many people down in military base. It looks like people have seen that and immediately dumped out very, very quickly there. They did not want to stick around at all. HYDRA out of there. MSX, they're going to move over to the eastern side, and TDP straight in the middle.
Everyone's starting to spread out now. As you say, Novo now claimed, seems. So is military. I think that, you know, if oh yes, okay. So TDP were in Novo the first time around. I think you mentioned. So yeah, they're going to move out a little bit further west, but I can't remember who was the other team who was in Novo and where they've gone. ElementriX, though, they're over on the western side. They have got a man over on that military island in case there's a military shift, but the circle is going to head out to the western side. A pretty different circle to what we saw last time around. It was heavily western and actually ended up sort of around the central island just to the west of Rozhok. So probably unlikely to end up there again, but Nepali Ho will be happy with their spot for now if they don't get in too much trouble with the fights.
Should be fine. HYDRA obviously moving over to Mill to Power now. Mini Mill for the time being. MSX just basically encompassing the majority of the bottom eastern side of a military base. But so many teams in Rozhok. Seoul obviously going there immediately. It seems to be their basically playing grounds for them, but not doing so well so far. Currently in 16th place right at the bottom. Obviously they are playing with 3 players, but still a little bit poor on their end. Not what we were expecting from them. Not what we're expecting from the glorious return of Mortal.
Not just yet. I mean, as we say, 3-man squad, so it's their work cut out for them, certainly. Let's take a look at who's vying for that spot over in Pachinki. It looks like 8-bit dropping there for now. Blind trying to contest it, it seems, but not really finding them just yet. Looks like they have been spotted out with Prince up on the roof. They have got the overlook. They have got a player down south of it. He might have a little bit of a say into the coming fight, but 8-bit, they've got a good position. They're spread out nicely.
Yeah, 100%. They're going to have eyes on. I think this is what we saw Entity doing yesterday as well, is they'd have someone take a forward position in one of the houses, make sure they have that off angle available to them, so they can get the information. After all, PUBG Mobile and PUBG very much a information game, right? If you can gather that up, it means you know exactly where the players are going to be, and it means you can feed that information back to your team, and you can rotate accordingly and take positions. As you can see, the exact same thing is being done by Blind here, so they are definitely no strangers to the concept with EVOS up on the top side of your screen there.
Split up now as 8-bit managed to make the push towards the northern side, and Ted just not really giving any hoots about where he's going, but he's going to roll on in.
Not at all.
Nepali Ho, they have a compound sort of very, very central, but it's early days and probably don't really need to hold it that aggressively if someone wants to come and try and take it. Velocity, they have their scout out. They have got someone running around in the wings for the time being. One team over up towards Severny, it's the GamingHub. They will make that southward rotation relatively soon. They have the opportunity to go around Yasnaya as well, so it will be pretty simple for them to be able to get that one done.
That it will. NHN, been pretty solid so far, in my opinion. I think they're very good at taking a position and holding it. They're quite smart with the angles. We did see them on Miramar have a bit of a panic moment, I'd say, where they all got in vehicles and trying to rush across. I think they realised they made the rotation a little bit late. I see a couple of shots coming out from Prince right now onto Nick. The sideline has got that DP, extremely accurate. Yeah, I've already mentioned that. Nick, though, just waiting patiently. He's absolutely fine with it. EVOS on the backside, too, ready for the backstab onto 8-bit, should that come in handy. Really, both teams just feeling each other out for the time being. You can see Prince just leaning, trying to get a bead on him. I doubt we found it anytime soon.
Not just yet.
South George, that is where our previous victors are. Orange Rock, just looting. Payne is on the absolute other side of Georgia Pole too, so really both teams here fairly safe. GamingHub once again though, this seems to be a team that really favours the northern side of the circle. They tend to just try and move in from the north, find a central position. Really at the moment it's not working out too well for them. Seoul is on the move. God kill. Not spotted them as of yet though. We'll definitely have heard the vehicle, but they do split up into 2 vehicles now, so they've got the convoy going for them.
This is the thing, right? They don't want to take the fight. Certainly Godkill doesn't want to take the fight. He's not near his team. If Seoul can turn around and just refrag him, that's it. He's dead. He's gone. So unless they want to try and push his compound, then you do want to start to fire out, because the idea there is you make them think that there's more of you. Right, so it's a scare tactic, right? It's spiking out of your compound so that people are less likely to roll into you. If they don't have the intel about surrounding compounds, then you know you can sort of be able to posture like that. Unfortunately, though, fortunately for Godkill, Seoul don't even want to step to it, so they're going to make a separate rotation.
Soul know that really with 3 players on side, basically the main prerogative right now is to make the end game, because they're already at a disadvantage right now. They can't really afford to take any early firefights. They want to get in a vehicle, loot as many small compounds as possible, get geared that way rather than having to take those early firefights, and then make it to the end of the game where maybe the tables have evened up a little bit, where many of the other teams are looking at having 3 or 2 players on side, and there's that one team that's done very well to manage to keep 4. Really, so far what we've seen is throughout the matches, maybe 1 member or 2 members of Soul has been taken out a little bit early. And really, in most cases, that won't matter too much. But here, with 2 players, it becomes a really tall order, a tall task for them, especially on Erangel, where you need all those angles held, with it being fairly flat map at times.
Certainly can be. Pain yet to leave North George. They will have to make that run. The military island still a little bit occupied by TrustDProcess, as well as one of the players from ElementriX who's finally making their way across. It's Mr. Hyozu. So he's going to vacate there.
A little bit quiet on Miramar there. He went down rather early.
Yeah.
But definitely put the work in here on Erangel, where ElementriX took the first game. They're looking to have similar results here. Obviously, the circles there were absolutely mad. If you didn't catch the first game, definitely go back and watch the VOD. It was very, very entertaining indeed. We had a very, very cool last circle. You can check it out.
To see what they can get done. Team RG making this strike out from the northern side of the river. They're rotating around away from ruins. Might crash a little bit into Soul as they move past school. And everyone else now starting to get their foothold. MSX and TrustDProcess might start to push into each other here around this bridge. It is a bit of a hot spot. They're both in the zone. They're both in the circle, so they do have a little bit of time. But it's not infinite. It will run out eventually.
Yeah, currently MSX they're holding a lot of angles right now, whereas TrustDProcess they're trying to stay together, keep it nice and tight as they move across the bridge, which is very fair enough. But look at that! You got a player all the way up in conservative, just like watching down upon them.
In come the vehicles. The rest of the rotations coming in from MSX. They're crashing into the compound. Okay, so they do want to take this fight.
They hit the shots.
Saxleo pretty much alone at the moment. The rest of TrustDProcess yet to crash on in. They are going to start to come on through relatively soon, however. But in the meantime, their teammate, he's getting jumped on. He needs to be backed up relatively quickly.
Omega making his way down as well. It's just Saxleo now on his lonesome over here. I think he's going to be going down. The refrag is real easy for him. They even knocked a couple of more shots in there as well, just to be sure, after he'd run down. Oh, look, Saga over there, no way he comes to help his team out. TrustDProcess probably should really take this opportunity whilst MSX are looting to just cross the bridge, in my opinion, rather than sticking around for the fight to come.
Rotations now need to go through. It looks like TrustDProcess is going to bug out and try and find a boat along the shoreline, try and get across that way instead of trying to compete for the bridge. Probably a wise decision. They still have the western bridge available to them if they get a shift on, as the next circle is going to push on up towards the mainland. It's going to center around the dead zones between School, Yasnaya and Mansion. Southern Farm being the border. Not too many compounds to be playing with, but they reach quite a lot of buildings for now. Just sort of dotted around that people can play around. I'm imagining people are going to take up spots over on a lot of hillsides and a lot of tree and rock cover setups.
You see there the X-ray view. Harry just behind the vehicle. Mafia Ninja trying to take down HYDRA, but HYDRA got him pretty much cornered right now. Sending in the nade. Cooked it a little bit too long there. Came out a bit better. Gyro God trying to get away. Team RG putting the shots to the back of them. There's 3 teams in close vicinity of one another. Ivan looking around for them. Pfizer and Zombie both on the other side of the compound here. NLR2 scarily close to them.
Decent building for him to hold though. For now, with the backup not quite close, slightly pretty risky. The spray coming from Gyro God, jumping up. Only has 17, has to swap it out. Swaps to a different gun and is going to get the job done. NLR goes down, and this is the punishment for playing so forward without the backup potential from the rest of his squad. They do have the off angle over up on the hill, but it might just not be enough there, unfortunately, for them.
Yeah, I think it was pretty poor from an R2 there. Probably could have run back and came out the back of the building. where the rest of his teammates could see him. Blind currently putting the work into 8-bit there on the top of the screen as well, as you can see. Avi goes down, finally bleeds it out. Ted as well. I believe that is 8-bit all out of the game. With X-Plane finishing them off.
Having to go down, unfortunately. Going out. They had a great performance last game, but not going to be echoed this time around. The strength's just not quite with them yet again. Having a look at some of the other teams still live and kicking. ElementriX down on the south side of the circle. Relatively safe for now. The team that needs the great performance to take that first spot, of course, Orange Rock, previously known as the Indian Tigers. They are still going. They need quite a hefty chunk of points to be able to take this one from... I've forgotten the name of the top team. That's not good.
From Entity?
Yeah, from Entity. That's
yeah, indeed. NHN currently in a bit of a tough spot. Mafia Ninja's like, goodbye, my people need me. Okay. Unfortunately, so does the floor as he hits it. After being basically pelleted about 16 million times. Yeah. Lackey is just watching solemnly from the hill like, I will now leave. There is no more work for me to be done. My binoculars have been put away. Now RG, they can be the ones looked upon by HYDRA. HYDRA did a really good job. Slow and steady wins the race there, clearing that compound one by one. Despite having a lot of shots onto them very, very early on, I think they played that very, very smart. And I think we've seen that from this team quite frequently as they make their way into the circle. They're pretty good when it comes to firefights.
Next circle is going to come and center around Orange Rock. They're right in the middle, which might prove dangerous for them. But with the river on the top side, only one team is further north. They will have to cross eventually, but Payne is going to be guarding that bridge. Orange Rock now are going to have to fight to maintain control over this area of their zone. A lot of buildings dotted around, actually, into this one. They don't look like there's too many, but in fact, you know, there are a lot of small villages, like 2-3 buildings next to each other where you can hold up as a squad, and a lot of these teams will be looking to try and take one of those for themselves.
Indeed there will be. You get yourself a strong position early there, John. It really sets you up for the rest of the game, right? But currently, again, this is what we tend to see from the South Asian teams, that they make smart rotations, they get into the circle, they don't take too many fights here. When watching the global finals, one thing that we spotted about the Seoul team is they're a little bit hesitant to move from compound to compound. It seems like it's not echoed from the South Asian region at the moment. It seems like they're very happy to move about, make sure they get a better position.
Oh dear.
Oh god.
My goodness me.
Drive-by, thank you.
Absolutely. Player in the back as well, just getting a cheeky little lift on there, and nicely done. They are able to claim that kill.
That's pretty cool.
The rundown was
They're pretty cool about it, I'm not going to lie. Now everyone's going to mount up.
I'm just surprised it wasn't Mafia Ninja.
Same. In the car, and then the drive. Probably around the mountain you need anyway to clear out some of the final teams to get that chicken dinner. So really, like I said, more consistency from some of these teams getting into the top places. Seoul so far probably one of the biggest offenders at the moment for this, where yeah, they get to the top appointments, but they just cannot make it all the way through. Currently we're getting a bit of a crash there. MSX Omega will be taking a lot of damage. Only Pfizer from HYDRA takes about 70%. The dude holding up by this tree, just watching his teammate, making sure no one's going to come out, but finally gets back in the vehicle to move up to the next tree. It does provide you a lot of cover whilst you're in that thing. There's a lot of metal on board.
Yeah, it does give him a little bit of a wider peak, and Omega will be safe for now. The bleed out, it is ticking away, but the rest of the team at the back can start to think about pushing down. You can see KO mounting up in the buggy. Going to be trying to go laterally. This is decent. If you run straight at someone, then it's a lot easier for them to spray you down. If you move side to side, they have to track. It's a lot harder for you to do, but they're going to crash on in.
The dude, Gyro God, comes out the side of the building. Will try and finish off Omega there.
We'll get it.
Does finish it for him. You can see MSX desperately moving forward here, but HYDRA, like we were saying before, so excellent in these firefights. They know exactly what to do, and they're just cleaning them up one by one. As soon as Omega went down, it caused a lot of issues for them trying to move forward down to get it back up again. KO, currently really close towards them. Pfizer's been making some miraculously aggressive plays recently. Just dropping around the side, unleashes a couple of shots, does a lot of damage to KO, and then he goes back again. Harry does go down.
And in all of this fray. There's been a lot of rotations around for the next circle, and Orange Rock are holding down the western flank beautifully. They've got quite a few knocks. Soul looking to chime in as well, and moving on in towards this next circle. They need to move a little bit further east, sorry, because the west is so heavily occupied.
No play goes down from MSX. The dude also, just 2 players remaining from either team. It's Zombie moving forward. He's going to see if he can pick up his teammate, but it's Ignite running down the hill. A very cool set of gear on this lad as well. Will drop the smoke in, make sure he gives cover to his 2 teammates. Zombie will get this res up. Obviously, Fire's going to be very low HP, but another gun there is super useful. We create 2 angles as they are looking to do so right now. Looks like Ignite is going to go for the res instead. He's in a very obvious position. If Zombie just comes around the corner, goes for that shot, it's going to be nice and easy. But it is Pfizer from the side. That's the double angle I was talking about, and that is MSX out.
HYDRA able to clean that one up, and 7 kills now to their name. A nice start. Orange Rock still on that western flank, taking a couple of kills as well. Soul trying to enter from that direction. Might just have to skirt a little bit further down. Everyone now starting to crunch on in and see what they can find in terms of position. They continue to move, but now Orange Rock are taking a couple of knocks, seeing what they can hold down. Soul moving south over in towards Velocity. They do need to move as the blue is going to start to crunch them. Of course, this blue will start to do a lot of damage. It's phase 4. It will be going into phase 5, so they do need to move pretty sharpish. They'll get away with it. Mavi for Orange Rock has a foothold further into the zone for them, should they need to push on in. And everyone else yet to find it. No one heading out further east, but that's a heavy shift west. Okay, Orange Rock now looking pretty good.
Again, the circle look for these guys has been pretty crazy the past 2 games. Again, they are playing very, very split. Looks like they have a lot of confidence. Well, not super split, but they look like they have a lot of confidence in each individual player to perform, which is very, very cool indeed. Pain, once again, towards these last phases. We usually do see Pain all the way up to phase 5, so this is a very consistent team. We'll hope to see a little bit more of that from them in the future. Coming to day 3, day 4, if they can continue this up, they are absolutely going to be in the semi-finals. Blind, though, making it a lot further than they usually do, and they're in a good spot as well, with 5 kills on board.
TrustDProcess still with a horse in the race. Nepali Ho still, again, with the 1, but another hard shift means that all of those teams who were a little bit further southeast do need to push on in, and it's going to be very, very tricky. Blind make a huge run straight through everyone. The Valley of Death doesn't claim them. I'm surprised.
Now, ooh, Retribution coming in hot onto Team RG. Out comes the bullets. Curio, low HP, must finish this one off for Retribution right now. It is gone on the side. Big jump out the side there. Creates a lot of confusion for them. Everyone's still alive for Retribution as well, but HYDRA just over the hill will have heard that one.
In the meantime, that was 0 degrees going out to the northern side of Orange Rock. They will be eliminated. That western side completely devoted to Orange Rock as well. We were talking about how they needed a great spot to claim the top end of the leaderboards, and this is exactly the way you want to start this run.
They are the only team with 4 players on board. Obviously, Retribution will be getting that 4th man up right now, back in action. Lake's made a long, long run into this phase 5 circle, but I think that his run ends here. TrustDProcess absolutely have the eyes on them. ElementriX will finish HYDRA. HYDRA are going to be happy with that one anyway. They got a lot of points there from just the kills alone. Unfortunately, not a great position at 10th place, which I think it awards you about around 2 points, so yeah, not a lot at all there. But
still getting 8 points. It's not bad.
It's nothing to scoff at. That is basically like getting 3rd.
TrustDProcess going down, and Nepali Ho too. Well, both fall, so 2 teams immediately just eliminated from that one. Blind now, finally suffering the consequences of their blind run straight into the center of the circle. Mavi, the solo scout for Orange Rock up the top in the middle of the zone, actually managing to hold it down somehow.
Yeah, this guy seems to be the front assault guard for Orange Rock at the moment. He plays so far, it's so aggressive, and a lot of teams just don't expect it from them. Retribution, Orange Rock, all members on board for the time being. Pain Esports with 3 members too. These guys, like we were saying, always make it towards these last circles. Phase 5 currently. Survey with the VSS, most powerful weapon in the game.
You take that back, Ronnie.
I mean, it depends how fast you can fire it, really.
Sure. Absolutely. But Orange Rock, again, as we were saying before, get the shift. Big circle for them.
Really?
Look at that.
Again?
We were talking about how it might have been circle luck last time.
Who were they bribing?
It's definitely circle luck this time. They've been eating magnets, mate. They've been eating their circle magnets for breakfast.
Seriously, no milk either. They want to make sure it's as pure as possible when it goes into the stomach.
Pure, crunchy goodness.
Look how far Marvi is away.
That's Soul, I believe, getting eliminated there in 7th. Retribution now pushing in from the south, Blind from the east. And over in the north, you've got Pain starting to crunch on in, as well as ElementriX on the east. So a lot of teams now pushing on in. Mavi might find himself in a little bit of trouble if his team can't back him up.
Because Blind are moving in now. It was good because Nick was able to get up his teammate. Sandu doing a lot of damage to SynerGE currently. Poo Poo Man out of the car. He drops nastily to the ground. Pyozu also going to be out very, very shortly. I think that's pretty much it done. ElementriX Jr. is in the back there, but as a one-man army, I don't really think it works too much, especially versus Orange Rock, who are very hell-bent on keeping all the players alive. Marvi, though, so low there.
They're taking a lot of kills as well, firing out in all directions. We saw them control the ground beautifully on Miramar. They're doing a very similar thing here, although they are down the hill this time as opposed to up. Seeing what else they can do.
This is insanely good cover right there. That's really smartly set up. Pain very, very close to them now, John.
The only team that can really challenge them is Blind. Two players now left alive on the southeastern side. If they can take down Mavi, if they can dismount that, the next circle more than likely will shift away from Orange Rock. And it will push them a little bit more central. If they can control that hillside, they might just be in with a shout. They might see some third parties coming through. Oh, you've got to see that! Come on! Pain getting eliminated.
With the DP. This guy is serving them up on the dinner plate right now. Junior, obviously on the hillside. Orange Rock has spotted him out. It's just a case of a quick spray. ElementriX going down in 4th. Not able to recreate it. 20 kills. This is the most kills we will. If they can pass 20, that will be the most kills we've seen, at least in the European and the South Asian regions. Retribution currently behind a tree in the smoke. The nerve of these lads. Orange Rock even taking the crate as well.
They know exactly where Retribution are. Blind. They're aware of their position as well. They should be. Mavi's relatively close. Goes for the fight. Actually, Mavi goes down, so they might lose that scout, but the damage has already been done. They're still a man up, and they're going to be able to see what they can get. All of these teams now happy with their placement. Should be okay with it. Orange Rock, they get the circle! Oh my god!
Are you kidding me? This is unbelievable.
That's unfair. That is unfair.
Blind described themselves to me as the underdogs, and I think with this kind of circle look, yeah, absolutely will be the underdogs in this situation.
I just can't believe that Orange Rock have managed to get this one yet again. It looks like they're going to be able to take it down too. I mean, there's very little chance that they're going to be able to find anything else.
They've got seriously good cover here. This is unbelievably strong for them. Blind now coming over just over the hillside right now. But you've got to admit, Orange Rock has set themselves up very, very well. Look at the way the vehicles are placed. We saw it on the other side as well from Carry. Existence from Orange Rock will take down X-Spain. X-Spain can be finished off very, very quickly. It's just Retribution down there. Player is lost on the floor. He is knocked. This is just super easy for Orange Rock. There's no way they lose this one in match 4. They're going to be so happy. I'm pretty sure they will top the leaderboard now.
Yeah, I'm
regardless
pretty sure
of what happens.
He must have spotted that. He must have spotted that. Does take a little bit of damage for it, but he goes down to the zone, denying a kill point, but that's 22 kills on the board. One more still to claim. And it's Hitman. He's at the zone.
He's in the circle.
He's just denying them the points.
It's ticking hard.
He's just denying points. There's no way he survives this. There's 3 players bearing down on him. They know exactly where he is. They know exactly what he's doing. He stands up. He taunts them with the point. They don't get it. It's 22 kills going over to Orange Rock, and with it, the top kill count so far.
Incredible game from Orange Rock. But I mean, if you didn't have an incredible game from Miramar coming off a high there to Erangel, where basically the circle is your friend, and you hang out with it on the weekend, and you buy it dinner, and then it pays it back in kind with the most amazing circle look anybody has ever seen so far on the South Asian region. That was just incredible. I mean, the circle was basically MVP.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Orange Rock, they did well to hold it down, obviously, but 2 games now in a row, they've just had the incredible circles go their way. So even though they are going to top it out, it's still very, very possible that they are going to dismount that one in the future from a team like Entity, who proved themselves in multiple different styles.
Big time. They were very dominant too. What's nice to see for me is that, oh, that was very unfortunate. He spins it out and then down immediately. Out comes the drive-by immediately. So really, this is a very, very cool game, and I really like the way that Orange Rock play, because they're very happy to just send Marvi out in the open, and he's basically the scout of the team. Yeah, and not only is he scouting, he's doing incredible damage to the enemy teams all the time. So Orange Rock are a really strong team here. It's nice to see the South Asian teams. We get into match 4. They're playing much, much more bold, much more aggressive, and that seems to be them just getting a bit more comfortable with the region itself, feeling out the enemy teams. Because really, those first couple of games, that's a little bit of information gathering. After that, then they can start to really take the hurt to everyone else once they've figured out their play style. Also, we got to give credit to HYDRA. I think off the back of basically fighting literally everyone, like, they did fairly well. Surely in the end they were taken down by ElementriX, but they were battered and wounded by that point.
Yeah, it was unfortunate to see them go down there. Of course, a lot of these teams, they don't, as I say before, you don't need stellar performances at this stage to get through. Obviously, you do want to sort of stamp your name on the region, but you don't want to give the game away too early. You want to maybe hold back on some of your better strats for this stage. It is only groups. So people still have a long way to go.
That's what a lot of teams have told me,
eliminated.
is that really at this point we want to keep it nice and smooth. We don't want to give too much away too early. When we're not going to, as they said, sweat it out, which is fine, which is absolutely fine. I'm completely on board with that one. And as we come to semi-finals and regional finals, we'll see some really explosive strategies and some of the teams really taking it away with unique play styles, which we're already starting to see with Orange Rock, who basically lasso the circle, put it towards them. Crazy plays.
Yeah, just send it, send a little. Put a little bit of money under the rug and just leave it there and tell everyone where it is. And be like, if it goes, then I don't
Is
mind.
this like the circle ferry?
Yeah,
like
the
$1
circle
under the pillow.
Yeah,
nice.
Under your mobile phone when you go to bed at night.
That's the only way, really, isn't
under
it?
your V17 Pro.
Under your V17 Pro with that Qualcomm amazing processor.
You just put a dollar or whatever your local currency equivalent is.
I think we'll get our scoreboard up very, very shortly, which will show us the final results for the game, and we'll see if Orange Rock have indeed surpassed Entity Gaming.
I'm pretty sure they will have done 44 points, and I think they were released on. I can't remember exactly how many they were on before.
You said 56.
But they've had 2 chicken dinners today, which alone is worth 40 points.
Yeah.
And then with 22 kills coming in, and they had I think 17 in the previous one.
Yeah.
That is going to total up to 79 at least.
I wasn't confirming in my head. I'm just like, you're like my calculator.
Oh no, wait, 22.
Nice.
22 and 17 adds up, to 39. So
solid.
79 total.
79 total,
which is already more of 2 games.
79 total, which is 3 points more than Entity Gaming.
So they are definitely going to be topping it out.
Yes, 100%. So really, really good from both these teams. Hopefully we get to see a bit more of the exciting play from South Asia. Obviously, this was Group C and D today. We saw Group A and B yesterday, so we'll see some new stuff. Here we have our scoreboard on the screen for you. 37 total points there for Orange Rock.
Okay, yeah.
I believe that is actually from last game, so we won't have the final scoreboard, sadly. We can't provide the scoreboard information currently. We will get that to you later. Probably tomorrow we'll show you as we start the show. Obviously, we're just seeing the points we had from last time. But John, the calculator over here, he's pretty much summed it up for you. The Entity Gaming, they probably are going to be in second place. Orange Rock going to be there in first.
Heavy circle luck will favour them there. So I'm not too worried for the teams sat below them who want to try and leapfrog. I think it should be relatively possible if they come up against Orange Rock, of course. It's highly, we do see it happen sometimes, once or twice we've seen it, but it's highly unlikely that we're going to see any more circles go the way of Orange Rock in the same sort of dominant fashion that we saw this time.
Indeed. So if you want to stick around and find out exactly what happens in day 3, you can catch us the same time tomorrow evening, for us at least, and we hope you catch us there, because it's going to be another excellent day of 4 matches of the South Asia region, with a couple of new groups thrown in there as well. It's going to be a really good time. So thank you from me, a big thank you from John. Anything else to say, man?
Keep on fragging.
Keep on fragging, boys. And remember to subscribe to the mobile esports channel for PUBG down below. Smash that like button, and you too can download PUBG Mobile on the phone on Google Play Store and the iOS App Store. Until next time, good night and goodbye.